specifically these days into K-dramas, honestly.
like my mother-in-law.
Really?
Yeah. Is that the Korean ones?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they're for old ladies, man. How did you end up there?
And realistically, you can't change people.
Yeah.
The only way that I had any success, I don't want to say converting, but convincing people that this is a good idea, is when they came to me with a genuine curiosity and they were interested why I'm doing it.
Yeah.
And then I
exactly.
share why I'm doing it without saying that you should do the same. But I believe this is how I had the most success in getting the message across. And yeah, it doesn't work if I just, go up to random people and tell them, well, you should do the same, that's not how it works. It also doesn't work at work with like Neovim. Like I'm preaching the gospel of Neovim at work, but nobody cares.
Now, what is this? Is it some sort of metal? Oh, it has the pig voice, right? That squeaks. Is that what it is? I can see this guy's doing the pig sounds. Is that it?
It's not necessarily pig sounds, but I mean,
if you're listening to this as a podcast, remember that it was originally recorded as a video. If you're not following along, you can go to my YouTube channel. My username is Linkarzu. And if you want to support me to keep this podcast going, you can donate in Ko-fi. I'm going to leave a link in the description. All right, so let's get started with this chapter then.
What are we doing today? I have another guest, Hendrik. You may have seen him as Henry Misc on YouTube. Hey, Hendrik.
How's it going? Good. And you?
Yep, doing good as well. So, thanks for being here with us, man. And it's a holiday where you're at. It's a holiday here as well, but I have to work. But where are you at, by the way?
I'm based in Barcelona, Spain.
Barcelona, Spain. Okay. Now, are you from Spain as well? Were you born there?
No, originally I'm from Germany, but I've been living here since 2018, more or less.
Oh, yeah? And how did that happen? Why? If you want to share it with us.
Yeah, so I guess the main motivator for me was my fiance. And she's from Spain. And basically, we've been living in Germany before, and then there was kind of a break where I've been working in a different industry before. I was actually in sales at some point, and I wanted to do something else and get into tech. And so I wanted to do a master's degree. And when I decided where to do it, then Spain came up as one of the options where I can do this kind of degree. And that's why we decided then to try it in Spain and move here.
Where did you say she was, or she is from? Is she from Spain or Germany as well?
It's complicated. She was born in Germany, but none of her parents are German. So she doesn't have the German citizenship. And then when she was kind of young, they moved to Spain. So I think she's mostly Spanish at this point.
Okay. And what did you study in Spain? The master's, you said, right? And what is it related to?
Data science.
Data science. Oh, yeah. Okay. And what did you study like in college in Germany?
Also not in Germany. For my undergrads, I went to the Netherlands. And there I actually initially studied business. And also the reason why business and not tech is also kind of a long story. We can get into that if you're interested.
Yep.
But yeah.
Oh, okay. Business. Okay. And how did you end up in tech then? Like you studied business, like are you a developer or what are you then? Are you a businessman?
Yeah.
All of it? What?
At this point, I do mostly MLOps, so kind of DevOps for machine learning. I transitioned a bit into that from data science as a basis. And actually, I started programming when I was kind of young, so like around 10 years old. Back then, basically my stepdad, he was into computer science and he was an engineer. And he was kind of my role model and I wanted to become like him, And so I said, I don't understand anything what you're doing. How does programming work? Like, where do you type the code? And I found this idea that you can just type something in a computer and then you have a program that solves a problem. That's kind of amazing. So he gave me this book, and back then it was Visual Basic. Terrible language. Terrible language.
Visual Basic, yeah.
Yeah, but a good entry point back then. And so I started programming with this Visual Basic, and actually also initially my main motivation was to build bots for a game that I was playing and to build keyloggers to spy on my girlfriend. So yeah, I was always in it for the right reasons, I guess. Anyway, so basically my stepdad, at some point when I was around 15, he left me and my mom sort of overnight. And I've not seen him ever since. And yeah, at that point, so it was basically like he found a younger woman and said, well, yeah, see ya, I guess. Have a good rest of your life.
Have you heard about him after that?
Not at all.
No.
And I guess I only realized it now, many years later, but I think back then he was my role model, and then I realized my role model was actually an asshole. And I didn't want to become like him. So I kind of had to leave this tech world, let's say, and I wanted to do something completely different. And that's how I ended up ultimately in business. And then many years later, I reconnected back to that, I guess, childhood memories.
The IT related stuff. So what made you go back to programming and stuff?
Yeah, so after I studied business, I actually got a decent job in Germany at a big company, but it was more project management and sales related. And I guess many of us in the Neovim community and Linux and that kind of stuff, we are more on the introverted side. So I guess you can tell that sales is not my natural strong suit. And even in that world, I found myself really enjoying most when I work with Excel or something logical that is built with numbers and math and this kind of stuff. And I noticed that I wanted to spend way more time on these basic sales analysis than actually doing the stuff that I was hired to do. And so I realized like I had to do something else. And data science was a natural transition because it's still kind of related to business. There's like lots of business applications in data science. And it was a smoother transition to me than going into, I don't know, back-end development at that point.
Okay. And how did the YouTube thing happen then? I'm gonna switch to my screen here so we can take a look at your channel. And this has always, I have always had this question. How come you have so few videos, only 19 videos, and you have 7,000 subscribers? I have 8,000 subscribers and I have I don't know, 253. I lost count already. I just lost count completely, right? So how did all this happen? Like, why did you decide to start a YouTube channel?
So I have a theory why that might be the case. And I think it comes down to 3 factors, and I only control 2 of them. So
that looks like Vimothée, right? That has to do.
I don't know about that. But I believe that first, a few of my videos had pretty good timing, I guess, by accident. So I think the most popular video got like 180,000 views or something at this point. Yeah. So it's like Neovim from scratch based on Kickstart Envim. And I think it was right at the time where Prime suggested to start with Kickstart when you want to get into Neovim. So I guess I got a lot of clicks through just organic search. That's my assumption. And the next part, and I also think the Level Up Your Vim game, that also had just good timing. There was not a lot of content 11 months ago like this on YouTube. So I think it was just lucky timing. The second factor is the thumbnails. And I also don't control that very much, to be honest. Because it is really tough. And I'm terrible at the aesthetics. So usually I come up with this thumbnail and title concept. But then I go to my fiance, to Kelly, and I ask her like, can you
Okay.
make this beautiful? Can you make this
Oh.
pop?
Oh, okay. That's the trick then. Okay.
Exactly. So maybe you can see that there is a woman's hand involved in all of these thumbnails.
Man, yeah, because they make you click. That's the thing, you have to make people click. I cannot figure it out yet, man. I don't figure out thumbnails. Sometimes I come up with good ideas, I think, but no, they're not clicked.
It is super tough. And if I come up with the initial design, then it always looks terrible. And she's like, oh no, you can't do it like this. Let's rearrange some stuff. Or this has to be smaller, this has to be bigger. It has to pop more,
Oh.
And I would never think about these things myself. And she's just amazing at this.
And do you do the thumbnail first or the video first? Because I was talking to Elliot. He's the Dreams of Code guy. I don't know if you've seen him. He has a big channel. And he said, do the thumbnail first and the title first. I always do the thumbnail and the title at the end. Once the video is done, I just come up with something quick, whatever. But I think it's a huge part of it. And I haven't tried doing it first. How do you do it?
Yeah, that's interesting. So I definitely started doing video first and then thumbnail and title. But these days, I also try to do it in the same order that a viewer might experience the video. So they see the thumbnail first, then they then they see the title, they click on the video. And for me, it helps when I think like this from a viewer's perspective to deliver on the expectation. If that makes sense.
Yeah, makes sense. But you have like a general idea, right? Or just a thumbnail comes to your mind and then you create the video based on the thumbnail? Or it's like, okay, I have this video idea, but I'll create the thumbnail first.
I mean, I don't want to sound like I figured it out because I definitely haven't. It's still very much random what I do. But these days I have like a Kanban board where I try to organize my ideas and they sort of develop over time in Obsidian. So whenever I have an idea, I create like a new node in kind of a brainstorming column of this Kanban board. And then, whenever I find something that relates to that, I just, paste links there, resources, maybe take some notes. And then when I feel that there's substance to the idea, I move it to the next column, which is more like, okay, I prioritize this video and I want to make a video about it. And this is how kind of the ideas develop over time.
Agile methodologies in your video creation, right? All of the
little bit.
Okay. And why did you decide to start with YouTube then? Like, what was the reason that made you, I'll start a YouTube channel and start sharing all this stuff?
Honestly, it was so at work. I realized that at this point, I'm not so much limited anymore by my technical skill, even though like you can always develop more and more. But at this point, I've figured out the basics and I can give an informed opinion on my things. And I might have an idea of how to implement things and solve problems. But what I'm more limited by is my ability to communicate ideas to others. And so instead of in the last like feedback cycle, and we have an education budget at work that we can use every year, and I decided to spend that on a course for communication.
I have to do that.
And I actually didn't finish the course because the guy, the instructor, he said, all of this is going to be useless if you're not willing to film yourself and speak to a camera and watch the recording back. Because this is how you notice the mistakes you make, the ums and ahs, and like all the flaws that you have in the communication. And he said, just pick a topic that you know a lot about, that you can talk about and film yourself. And I said, okay, at this point, I might as well, do it properly, start a YouTube channel and just talk about the Vim topic, because I can talk about this for ages and I don't have anyone who wants to listen to it. But maybe somewhere in the world, there's someone out there who likes to hear that. And that's kind of how it went. And that actually helped a lot. I mean, I'm still not a great communicator by any means, but especially early on, it took me so long to record a video because I made so many mistakes and
Oh,
it took
yeah.
me so many attempts just to, deliver a sentence properly.
And it is really tough when you're by yourself. When there's two people involved, like right now, the conversation flows and it's easier. But when it's you recording the video by yourself, you just make mistakes and you have to redo it again and again. I don't know what happens, but it's different when you're doing it by yourself compared to when you're, in an interview or something like that. Have you felt that? Because I make way more mistakes when I'm doing the videos by myself.
Definitely. I'm also interested in how you approach it. Do you script your videos, or do you just, raw dog it?
No, I just raw dog it. I just go. I do have in my Skitty Notes app, I have like a guideline of the things that I want to cover, right? So I'm in the shower and I remember, oh, I have to say this in the video. And I just grab my phone. That's something that I like about the Apple Notes right now, because I just say, Siri, new note, right? I hope it doesn't pick it up and starts doing crap right now because I'm recording. But when I say that, it just what I want to say, and I just tell it what I want to say, and it saves it in as a text in my notes, so I can look at it in the computer. So then I just come and I just add that in my Skitty Notes, just the points that I need to cover in the video, and then I just go through them. Okay, I already did this, and I move on to the next one. I just cover all of them, and that's it. But I don't script it. Do you script it?
That's actually amazing. I wish I had this notes functionality, but I don't think it exists on Android, or at least I'm not aware of it. So I tried scripting, and the earlier the videos are, the more you can tell it is scripted. At least the intro. I try to really nail the intro, but I can't read from a script and make it look natural, because you can see like my eyes are moving and reading the script.
Yep.
It looks very bad. So basically the only option I have is memorize one sentence, record it, memorize the next one, record it. And that's terrible. That's very slow and painful. So these days, I also noticed that my viewer retention is much better when I just get straight into it. And I noticed that also with Sylvan's videos.
Yeah, he doesn't have a lot of cuts. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. He goes straight to the point, like maybe 1-2 sentences intro and that's it. And I think a lot of people appreciate that, if you're kind of no bullshit and just get to it, like just deliver what people are here for.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I did try to script the first ones. I have huge blog posts. Like I have a video in which I go over how to install Windows 11 via what is this thing called? Pixie Boot, right? So instead of having a flash drive, you install Windows 11 through your network. So I have a blog post about that. Basically, my video is going through the entire blog post. It's a huge blog post. And it's extremely time consuming. I tried that for the first few videos, and then I was like, man, no, it takes way too long. So now I just say whatever I want to say, and I should script the first 30 seconds, to grab their attention and just tell them what the video is going to be about. But I don't think about it too much. It's just hit record, go, and people leave in those first 30 seconds. So I think that's a important part to script, at least, right? And try to memorize it and try to make it look natural, I would assume, right?
Yeah, at least have like some bullet points ready that you want to talk about.
Yeah. And all of your videos are related to Neovim, right? And I'm not sure if you have Vim related. I saw, well, Neovim, workflow, and macOS and all that stuff. Why did you decide to start trying Vim motions? Like, why did you take that jump? And if you want to share about your experience as well, the first few times that you tried them, how did you feel? Did you feel like crap, or it was natural to you?
No, it was definitely not natural. Now it's natural. Now it feels second nature, but it definitely wasn't from the beginning. So the main motivation for me was actually ergonomics. So I have been struggling with wrist pain and this carpal tunnel stuff that I think a lot of people have for a very long time. And I just couldn't work pain-free on my computer for extended periods of time. So I got myself like I don't know if you can see it.
Oh, I had that one. The
Yeah?
Emacs vertical that how it's
Exactly.
called? Yep. You can connect it up to 3 devices, right?
Yeah, it is pretty cool. And it also alleviated the pain a little bit. But it didn't fully solve the problem because I realized that the root cause was that I have very bad habits of navigating on my computer because I switch between my mouse and my keyboard in very unnatural ways. I didn't know how to touch type, and it just didn't feel good, and I had like very crampy movements, and that was actually the root cause of this pain. So I felt I had to develop a workflow that is much better, that helps me, that glues my hands to the keyboard. And this is how I naturally came across Vim. So at first I tried to activate Vim motions in VS Code. And honestly, it was tough to learn them, but my mentality was always, if I just stay in insert mode, then it's just regular VS Code, So I just went straight into cold water. I just, at work in my VS Code, I just activated the Vim plugin. And then whenever I had to do something urgent, I just stayed in insert mode and just did regular control.
Arrows.
Yeah, arrow keys, control C and V for copying and stuff like this. And that worked quite well. But then whenever I had a not so urgent task, I forced myself really to touch type and to use Vim motions. And this is how I got a little bit better over time.
Okay. And ergonomics you mentioned. Did it help you with wrist pain? How is that going? Because I did experience that on this arm specifically here, and I was concerned. But I used hyper a lot with my pinky. I used hyper back then a lot, and I think that it caused a huge problem for me. I moved it to my thumb after that, and it's been better. But I switched to a different keyboard. How is that for you right now? Are you still in pain when you're writing?
The Emacs pinky, as they call it sometimes.
Basically, that's what I did, I think, yeah.
No, these days it's much better. I think also home row mods help a little bit because they prevent you from, jumping with your pinky to the shift keys and stuff like this. That's much better. And I moved to a mechanical keyboard initially, to also the Logitech one. I think it's called Emacs Mechanical or something. That made things a little bit worse, actually, because the movement for the key movement of mechanical keyboards is much larger. So you have to press more than on a Mac keyboard.
That's what I've been thinking as well.
It forced my hands kind of inward. No, I don't want to block the camera. And I still need to jump a lot between the keyboard and the mouse. Now I have a split keyboard, and that helps a lot. And I have also the Mac, the trackpad in between those two keyboard halves. And yeah, for me, that helps a lot. Not scrolling with the scroll wheel on the mouse, but using the trackpad and then having my hands rested on the two keyboard halves. That works much better.
Which one do you have? Which split keyboard?
I have this one. Maybe I can show it. If it's
what is that? Oh no, I don't know what that is.
Iris from Keep.io, I think.
Let's see. Iris. Keep.io. Let me switch here.
Yeah, it's a low profile Iris. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, not this one, right? This has
the compact
switches.
edition.
This one.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
Okay. And how has that been? Has it been good? You still have your numbers there. You have 4 thumb keys. Okay, seems like a good option, right?
Yeah, honestly, the layout is almost optimal for me. I wish it had 2 more thumb keys, 1 more on each side. And otherwise, I have no complaints whatsoever. It's very high build quality. It has like a metal frame, just feels overall really good. I did spend a lot of time, though, to program it and come up with a mapping that makes sense for me and layers that make sense for me. But to me, this is perfect. I can still use the number keys, QWERTY layout, and which is also important for me because I wanted to still be able to use a regular computer, So,
Okay.
yeah, no complaints whatsoever.
Rumen in the comments says if it's easy to map it, because he has a Voyager and they have like a special software web page that you go to. How do you do this? Do you do it in GitHub in a repo, or they have a tool?
So it comes with a tool called VIA pre-installed. You know it?
Nope.
So VIA is pretty good, but it's also a bit limiting. It is a tool that you can use from your browser. So you connect your keyboard and then you can basically remap keys. It's an open source tool, I guess. And that's pretty easy, but it only works for basic key remaps. But that comes pre-flashed. Then I flashed it again with QMK. That gives you a lot more flexibility, but also then the downside is you have to always reflash your keyboard if you want to make a change.
Yep.
But yeah, I only did it once in the beginning and I haven't touched it since.
Oh, so it's QMK, it's not ZMK, right?
You could install that, I guess, if you wanted to.
Okay. I don't even
As
know
far as I
what the
know.
difference is, QMK and ZMK. Why So Serious in the comments has told me a couple times, and it just goes like this right over my head. I forgot it. Sorry, Why So Serious, in case you... He said that he's not gonna respond to me at all anymore. Now, how easy is it to reach the thumb key here at the top? Isn't it too difficult? These two, because it's one on top of the other.
Yeah, so the lower thumb keys, they're very easy to reach. So my thumbs rest naturally on those. But then the upper thumb keys, I can't really press them without pressing the one below. So I actually use them with my index fingers, and I have the backspace key there.
With your
Maybe
index.
a bit unusual, but it works, yeah.
Oh, I see. You have the backspace there?
Yeah, I have delete on the left side and backspace on the right.
Okay, makes sense. Was it designed for you to press it with your index, or that's something you just came up with?
I think I came up with that. I don't know. There's another layout that is similar. I think it's called Lily 58 or something. I do believe that is a slightly better layout than this Iris layout. But I didn't find any pre-built options from a reputable brand, so I went with this one.
Okay, I see. Yeah, because the Glove 80 is, you will not be able to see it there, but it has like a little, this key is higher and this one is lower, right? So you can reach them. But to be honest with you, the Glove 80, I'm just using two keys right now at the moment, two thumb keys. These two, right? This one and this one. Because I realized that, yeah, it's comfortable to have a lot of thumb keys, but this stretching that you need to do, it feels, you start to feel it after a while, right? This, and then go up here, and up here. Look at this. To reach these, look at how my thumbs are. And I always like to keep my hands in the home row, right? So I like to keep them here. But reaching this using your thumb a lot, you start to feel it after a while. So I just went with two right now. These two that are the closest to me.
So the top row of the thumb keys is not mapped at all?
No, they're not doing anything. Just the two at the bottom, because that's where my thumbs are resting all the time, right? So it's pretty natural for me to type this and this one as well and move pretty easily. And I'm not using the numbers. But the reason is because I pre-order a keyboard. Let's see. Corne. Let me look for it.
The corne.
Yeah, but this is a prototype.
That's a popular one.
Yeah, this is a prototype that they closed the orders already, but it's low profile. Because what you said, I have that theory, that these switches, even if it's chalk switches, even if it's low profile switches, they are harder to press compared to like my MacBook. The external Apple keyboard, right? So that was really soft. It didn't hurt my hands at all. So I was waiting for someone to come up with this because I want to try lower switches, not chalks, which are the lowest at the moment, but something even lower, right? So if you compare this, here's the regular, here's the chalks. But look at this thing. It's pretty flat. So
Oh, wow.
I hope I'm not disappointed when I give it a try. We'll see what happens.
It definitely looks very sleek.
Yep.
And I do agree on the key travel. I mean, the more you have to press, the more movement you have to make in general. So I believe that's a little bit less ergonomic than just being able to rest your hands and making very small key presses.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What do you think about the chalk? The corne layout. Don't you think it's a bit restrictive?
Well, that's the thing, that I got used to using only 40 keys. Before I purchased this, I was planning on buying a corne, right? Because I noticed as well that the more your fingers travel, the more they hurt, right? So if I'm just using the home row right now, the row above and the row below, that's it, right? My fingers don't travel to the number, to this row up here, or to the F keys, which are way higher, right? So the numbers are too difficult to reach for me. Well, they're not comfortable, right? They're not comfortable. I never got used to them, and I've been typing for 20 years. Numbers are here, F keys are here. That's too much of a stretch. It's too much for me. So now I'm just using these 3 rows. My numbers are easily accessible, right? With my thumb here, I enable this layer. I can type the numbers. They're in my home row, right? So numbers are pretty easy to type. Symbols are above, right? On the row above. Pretty easy to type as well. So I got used to those 40 keys, right? The corne has 42 keys. So I'm still going to be having 2 extra keys, but I remapped even my MacBook keyboard, the laptop keyboard, I remapped it. So I'm just using 40 keys on that keyboard as well. The exact same thing, exact same layout. So I got used to it. The first few days were painful. I hated it. I even recorded some videos, and I was doing a live stream. I was bad. I was really slow, but got used to it already. And that's why I decided to purchase it. We're going to see how it goes. Now, I do think that the ferris sweep is a mistake, to be honest with you, because that one has only 34 keys. And why so serious is there in the comments. And just to be able to type an uppercase letter, he has to type like 4 different keys, combinations, and do one-shot tricks. And I don't know what he has to do just to type a single uppercase letter. What are your thoughts there?
Yeah, that's exactly why I personally prefer to have a little bit less minimal keyboard. Because I travel a lot, and that's also why I went for something that's a bit more low profile. But I don't travel that much that I need to save the extra weight and space. It's still okay for me.
Yeah,
and
save this amount of space, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I also do get the appeal. It's very cool to never have to move your fingers more than 1 key away. That's amazing. But yeah, I'm also not so into it that I, for example, I still use the number row that I still have available, rather than the numpad that I have mapped on a layer. So most of the time I still use the number row, which is not ideal, but yeah. I guess over time I get used to it.
Yeah, but I realize that it's difficult because you create a numpad in the keyboard, but it's difficult to remember where they are. But if you just use the same row, right, the number row, but you move it 2 layers below to the home row, and you have it on a different layer, it's easy. You don't have to relearn where your numbers are, right? They're just lower. They're easier to type. It worked. I found it in Google. I found an image. I don't know the name of the layout, but I grabbed that part for my, and it has been working fine. The symbols as well, but that's the thing with the corne. I do use the keys on the side, right? The outer pinky rows for escape and for shift. I have them there, so I cannot use a ferris because I would miss those keys a lot. I cannot, cannot do it without those. And you're planning on staying on that keyboard. Have you thought about other one?
Let's see. I mean, I'm still quite happy with it. I haven't. I got it like 1.5 or 2 years ago, and so far I have no regrets. And the good thing is that that is quite portable. So yeah, so far I don't need anything else. But I'm also eager to try. Maybe at some point some brand wants to sponsor me and and send me the keyboard. Then I'm willing to try it out. But yeah, so
Hopefully.
far.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on sponsorships, by the way, now that we touch on that?
Yeah, sponsorships it's an interesting topic. I mean, I feel like the current audience that I have, they probably don't subscribe to my channel because they necessarily care too much about my personal opinion on topics. I think
they want to see your content.
Yeah, they have been quite dry so far. I haven't shared a lot of personal stuff, So my guess is that most people probably found me through organic search. They had a problem, I don't know, a Neovim config or something like that. They found a video, maybe it helped them, and maybe they liked the type of style that I have, so they subscribed. But they don't probably care too much about my opinion from me as a person, because I also haven't shared much personal stuff. So and I find that a bit awkward. Like, let's say you ask a stranger, because at this point, me and my audience, we are still strangers. I like to get to know them, and maybe I will also share more about myself. But let's say you ask something to a stranger, and the stranger, might help you and solve your problem. But imagine then the stranger is like, well, I think you should get a VPN. Here's my discount code. I don't know, that doesn't sit right with me. Maybe over time, once I have shared more personal things, the audience, they still like it, and there's more of a relationship, more long-term, more trust established and this kind of stuff, then it's different. Then when I have a product that I've been using myself for a long time, why not? If I actually believe it helps someone and someone would find it useful, then why not? I mean, for example, for fitness, I've been working a long time with a personal coach to work on flexibility and handstands and stuff like this. So I hired him, and I've been working with him for 3 years. And we are both into barefoot shoes.
Oh, I want to try those. I want to try them. Yep. I've watched videos. I want to try them. That's an ad that I would watch, and I'd be like, oh, Hendrik, you're going to get me. Yep.
It doesn't fit into my channel at all. But the point is, so we both really love this German brand for barefoot shoes. And I know he loves it. I love it. And I saw the other day that they're running a sale right now. So I sent him the link and said, well, have you seen this? And he was like, no, I haven't seen this, but I actually need a new pair right now. So he ordered one. And I didn't have any ulterior motives, or, I didn't get any commission from that. I just generally believed that he would really love that. He would benefit from that, maybe. And so that's to me a different story, because I know him, I know what he likes, I know what he wants. And yeah, so in this case, I feel this would be very beneficial. But in terms of YouTube, I'm not at the point yet where this would make sense, I believe.
You feel your audience would feel disappointed if you put ads in there?
Yeah, it would be way too early. I think it would feel like a cash grab, like I'm trying to put out a few videos and like start squeezing as much money out of it as early as possible. So
yeah, you have only 19 videos, so I do see that. But if the ad is related to your content, let's say that it's a tool that you trust in. For example, I offer 2 tools in my videos, which I use. 1Password is the password manager that I use. They never reach out, I wish they would reach out, because it's a tool that I believe in. I had to create like code, right? You go into a website, you create a code, so if people subscribe to that link, you get a commission in theory. No one has done that, but it's a tool that I believe in. I wish they would sponsor me, because it's something that I use every day. Another one that I use is setapp, which is like a Netflix of apps on macOS. So I install apps that through setapp, and I use it. I generally use it. I've been using it for a year. I have videos about it. I recommend it as well, but they haven't reached out. So I guess if it's something that you believe in, it's fine. I don't care what the audience thinks too much as well in that regard, because my main goal is to make money out of this to support my family. Eliger, these nuts. Eliger means pick. That's the tool that Roman created. It's what is that? Roman, it's like a tool that allows you to switch to different browsers. I have a video about that as well. But yeah, if it's a tool that I believe in, I'll make a video. There's a Trickster app on macOS. The guy reached out afterwards because he saw my video, because I believed in that application. I use it. So even if I have no money from recommending apps, I'll do it. But if a sponsor reaches out, like Notion, and it's this conversation that we're having right now, it's going to be like 2 hours, right? I don't mind putting a Notion ad in between. It's like, whatever. The viewer is still going to get the content, right? They're going to get the interview. They're going to watch a small ad. I'm going to make some money out of it. Win-win, right? That's what I think. But yeah, people tend to be sensible with that type of thing, because then they start calling you a sellout and all that stuff, right?
No, but I totally get it. I mean, definitely. Also, you've been in the game for a little bit longer, and you've made much more videos, and you've built a lot more trust in the relationship with your audience, much more than I have. So I guess it's different at that point already.
It's been only like over a year, close to 2 years right now. Not too long enough, but I have created a lot of videos, spammed YouTube, basically, So we'll see what they say. I'll let you know. But so far in the setup videos, no one has said anything. When I recommend one password, no one has said anything. So, I don't know if I would recommend something that I don't believe in, even for the money. No. Like Brilliant, I would do, because it's a platform that looks interesting, but don't go to Brilliant. They have to pay me before you go there. So no, this video, no. Brilliant, they I'm not gonna say their name because they had to give me money. But if it's something that goes against my beliefs, I'm a vegetarian. I don't eat meat. So if a meat company comes to me and says, "Hey, I'm not gonna do it because it goes against my beliefs," So it has to be aligned. And Notion, I have never used Notion. I'm not planning on using Notion, but if they reach out, it's like, whatever. I'll put a Notion ad. So it's complicated, I guess.
Cool. I'm also a vegetarian, so we can bond over that.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
And how has that been? When did that happen?
As all good things, they
Careful, because in the comments, the crazy guys are gonna come. Yeah.
No, my fiance started that as well.
Oh, and mine too.
So when we, it's always like this. So when we were dating initially, 11 years ago, she didn't mind me eating meat or anything. Like, she had nothing against that, and I still don't have anything against that. People should do what they believe in. But so initially, I started preparing meat on the side. So we would make a vegetarian meal so that she can also eat, and then I would make some meat in addition to that. But we were students, didn't have a lot of money, and also we didn't have a lot of time to make like these extravagant meals all the time. So I started just eating vegetarian, and for convenience, I just stuck to it. And I didn't even notice how I was being converted. So
oh yeah.
And all and kind of the philosophy behind that came a little bit later.
Oh, and how long have you been a vegetarian?
Yeah, around that time, like 11 years more or less.
Oh, really? How
And you?
long? Yeah, my daughter is 8 right now, 9, 10, and 11 years approximately. Around 10, 11, right? Because my daughter was born as a vegetarian. She's 8, 1 month
wow.
of pregnancy, and 10, a little bit over 10 years vegetarian right now. But I live in a third world country, and it's really tough here, man, because I don't live in the city. I live like 3 hours away from the city. There's not even a single vegetarian restaurant. Let's not even say vegan, right? Because no one has an idea.
Impossible.
So yeah, every single restaurant here is there. They don't have any vegetarian options at all. Not even one. Not on the supermarket. So it's really tough living in a country like this and being vegetarian. You're in Spain. That's way more advanced. And I guess you have a lot of vegetarian options there, right?
Man, Barcelona, it's like so easy, to be honest. I have 7 or 8 vegan restaurants at a walking distance. So like this, it's so easy, honestly. It's different if you're in the countryside in Spain, obviously, but in the big cities, it's very easy.
There's a small town here in Guatemala. It's by the lake. There's a lake. There's a town. It's called San Marcos La Laguna because it's around the lake. It's just tourists there, people from all around the world. And they do have a lot of vegetarian options. So when we go there with my wife and daughter, it's like heaven. We can go and eat anywhere and we don't have to be talking to the waiters and giving them instructions. Hey, I want this, but make sure that it does not include this. And when we go there, it's pretty cool. Everywhere else, it's a challenge. But my wife is the one that feeds us. She is the one that cooks. So man, that's such a great help because I couldn't do it without her at all.
I
Yeah.
see.
Now, let's move on to technical related stuff. How did it feel when you first tried HJKL? Like, did you get used to it fast or did you give it a couple tries?
H and L are kind of easy because they're like on the extremes.
Yep.
But I always confused J and K for a very long time. That didn't feel natural at all. But now it's, I actually, on my keyboard, I have a layer where I mapped HJKL to the arrow keys. So I can use someone is still confusing J and K.
Yeah. I don't know what they are. If you ask me which one is J and which one is K, I don't know. I have no idea. I just press them and I know that it's going to go up or down, but I don't know which one is which.
Right. Yeah, I have the same. It's like just second nature, no look even.
Yeah. You mentioned that you had mapped something somewhere, right?
Yeah, like I have a layer on my keyboard where I mapped HJKL to the arrow keys. So I can, because some programs, they don't work with Vim motions and you need to use the arrow keys. So this way I can still use Vim-like navigation everywhere pretty much.
Yeah, I also have a layer. So if I leave caps lock pressed and I press HJKL, I have my arrows there because, I don't like using arrows. And all of your videos are Neovim related. Is that correct?
Not all of them. I also have like Mac terminal set up.
Oh, no, but I mean Vim, Neovim or Vim. Like all of them are Neovim, right?
I think yes. So I usually show Neovim, but a lot of stuff is more applicable to both, let's say. So I don't have a lot of videos where I talk about the config and plugins. I mostly talk about the motions and tricks and tips and stuff like this, aside from the big video where it's all about like setting up Neovim.
And why did you decide to go with Neovim and not Vim?
Yeah, so after VS Code and trying it out in VS Code, I kind of, when I felt comfortable with the Vim motions, I kind of wanted to embrace it. And the Primeagen, he kind of sold me on this idea of staying in the terminal the whole time.
To all of us.
And I just...
To all of us, I mean... And everyone in the audience as well, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, it just looks so cool. So I actually then went with not Neovim, but regular vanilla Vim. And I tried configuring that because I felt like, okay, why Neovim? Like Vim has been around for such a long time and, I didn't see the point of Neovim initially. So I tried setting up just vanilla Vim, also with plugins, and I don't know, the syntax of Vim script, like it didn't click for me. It's so weird. And every time I started to look up something some kind of configuration, I came across way more content and blog posts and videos on Neovim than on regular Vim. And the one person that really inspired me to go down the Neovim route was Dev as Code. You know the channel?
Oh, the Japanese guy, I think.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. He rarely, I think now these days he talks sometimes.
But he just types, right? Yep.
Exactly. Like he's these ASMR kind of videos where he just goes to the coffee shop. And I just love it. To me, he's a true craftsman. And the videos are awesome. He just goes to a coffee shop with a keyboard and a MacBook, sits down, and spends like the next 2 hours in the terminal. And everything looks super sleek and beautiful. And you just hear him type away.
This one, right?
And yeah, exactly. And then at the end of the video, he has a beautiful app or something ready. And the whole time he spent in the terminal. So this is, for me, a very good example of someone who is honing the craft of programming, zoning in and building something beautiful with it. And I wanted to have something like him, a workflow that looks like this. And so initially I also went with his color theme, and he didn't have a video, I believe, where he showed his full setup, but he had a GitHub with his config. And yeah, I didn't fully get it, to be honest. So I went down this rabbit hole. I copied what I could from his config, and then I did more research on the stuff that I didn't get to work. And yeah, slowly created my own thing.
Now, you touched on a good point there. It happened to all of us. I'm not a genius. And man, it was freaking tough. And it was a pain in the ass to get started with Neovim and set it up the way that I wanted, Because I started with LazyVim distro. So there's a layer that you have to go through to make every change that you want, As small as it seems, man, you end up in the LazyGit GitHub repo, searching for stuff in the discussions page, in the issues page, in Google, AI. It was really difficult for me to get used to, configuring Neovim. I know my way around now by trial and error. I didn't read the manual like everyone recommends. Maybe I should have dedicated like a month to read the whole thing, but I was not going to do that. I don't like reading the manual. It's weird. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But Neovim's manual was too long, too complicated. And I was like, no, let's just raw dog it and let's just figure it out that way. But it was really difficult. And I went into this rabbit hole, and it took me months, to get it to a place that I liked. How was that for you?
I also tried LazyVim, AstroVim, and EnvyChat. Mm-hmm. And I had the same experience. So first, it was super useful to, especially AstroVim. That was the first distro that a little bit clicked for me, and that I wanted to give a try more long term. It really helped me to learn some of the sensible shortcuts because everything is already set up, right? And most of these shortcuts and keybinds, they actually make sense. So I still kept a lot of them. So that's very good for learning. But I found myself in the same kind of situation. Every time I wanted to make a change, then instead of having to find out how it works for Neovim in general, you need to find out how it works specifically in AstroVim or LazyVim. And the amount of resources that are available is just much less, because the user base of LazyVim is much smaller than Neovim in total. And I didn't find myself, at least in my personal situation, I didn't find myself saving a lot of time by switching to a distro, because at the end of the day, I still want to make some minor tweaks. I still need my personal LSPs and formatters and linters and all that stuff that I need for my workflow. But now I need to, on top of learning Neovim, I also need to learn this distro. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I get the appeal, especially from the stability aspect. But personally, I didn't end up saving a lot of time with it. So these days, I prefer to have my own config. And once it is established, you also don't need to touch it a lot. I just make incremental tweaks here and there at this point. And yeah, it doesn't cost me a lot of time.
Yeah. Like you said, I think distros are pretty good to see what's out there, because I have learned so much from the LazyVim distro that I know what I would like to have in my own config and what I don't want to have, because it has thousands of key maps, right? I don't use all of them, right? But I know the ones that I use, and it helps to grab inspiration. I haven't taken the step yet to go with my Kickstart config from scratch, I will eventually, but I know that it's going to take time, and I just don't want to invest it because it's working at the time for me, and I'm like, whatever. What do you use as a base? Kickstart then. That's your base for your config. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
How easy it is, like, to set up LSP and all that stuff? Is it simple? Did you find it complicated?
Well, the good thing is it is already set up pretty much. So you can still customize it and bring your own plugins and stuff like this. But the hard part, that is pretty much the same in all distros. Like, we all have LSP, right? Most sane Neovim users have LSP. And the setup is not that different. There's no unique LSP configuration. I mean, the server configuration, the specific ones might differ. But overall, it's the same Mason, NVim LSP config, the same kind of plugins. And I would rather have someone figure this out for me than figuring this kind of more low-level stuff out all by myself. And I find Kickstart really strikes a great balance there.
Okay, awesome. So someone starting, would you recommend then distro or no distro? What would you say to them?
I would say try both. Probably go with Kickstart to build your own config, but try LazyVim or something like that at the beginning, just to see what is out there. Like, see all the possibilities that a modern Neovim config can offer, and then you will probably find that it's too much. And at that point, come to Kickstart and build on top of that.
Okay. Do you think that there's a point where dealing with all these, configurations, Neovim, because it takes a lot of your time, do you think it becomes overkill at some point?
That's a great question. I do have maybe a bit of a hot take on this. I believe that you shouldn't overinvest time in learning Neovim. But if you care about programming or DevOps or whatever it is that you're doing, I think you're networking, right?
Networking and infrastructure related. Yeah, more on that side.
Right.
Yep.
So if you care about whatever it is that you're doing on a computer that is technical, if you care about that as a craft, then definitely overspend and overinvest the time in Neovim. And it might sound a little bit contradictory, but I can explain. So I believe that in the West, and especially in United States, we have this kind of min-maxing mentality where we try to get the most output out of something with the minimum amount of effort. And this works, and I think if you're chasing quick wins, that's fine. But it's also the enemy of any true mastery in a subject. And if I'm spending the next 30 years of my life in this field and working with a computer, I want to make sure that I learn the tools, and I want to make sure that I learn how to use it properly. Like a carpenter who learns a chisel and all these tools, Basically, like a true craftsman, I want to make sure that I use a computer. And this kind of mastery mentality is not about chasing quick wins. It's just about doing it for its own sake and wanting to do it properly for its own sake without any, Neovim is not going to give you a better job instantly or make you a 10x developer. I think there's probably like a correlation, but not a causal relationship. You can learn Neovim and suck at coding,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But if you care about programming or whatever it is as a craft, then I believe it's definitely worth investing a lot of time into it. I see this also in other fields, like in fitness, for example. Especially in fitness, people chase this, what's the diet or what's the routine that I can do to lose weight for the next summer? What's the pill that I need to take? Or now with vibe coding, like, how can I build this amazing SaaS product without even knowing what a client or a server is? And I don't know. I mean, this is fine, but at the end of the day, I want to live a good and fulfilling life, and I believe that involves not just caring about outcomes. You also need to care about the process and respecting the craft. I don't know, that sounds maybe a bit philosophical at this point, but yeah, so I think if this resonates and if people also believe that programming is a craft, then I definitely believe spend a lot of time on Neovim and hone the craft to really master computers.
I agree. And that's why I haven't installed one of these new tools out there like Cursor and all of those tools that basically creates an application from scratch. You don't know what the hell's going on. You just know that it works. I like, taking stuff. I like watching a course. When I was doing networking a lot, I watched thousands of courses, thousands of videos, and I learned it. And now I can implement it, Same with Linux, let's say, right? I just like knowing what I'm doing and then be able to do it. Yeah, I go and look at my notes. I use AI as a tool when when I need to do it. But yeah, I like learning stuff in depth. That's why I haven't taken programming seriously, because I don't want to do it in a month. If I'm going to commit to it, it's going to take me years. And I don't want to get started. It's like, man, I have a lot of stuff going on right now. This channel takes most of my time, my day job, all that stuff. I'm learning other things, doom scrolling, because social media is a big part now, and I hate it, but it is, But yeah, I like learning stuff in depth as well. I just don't want to reach the surface and yeah, imposter syndrome. That's tough, man. That's tough. Even in the stuff that I know, like networking, I feel like I'm an imposter. I don't know. I just don't feel enough. Have you ever experienced that? Do you ever experienced it? Like, maybe I don't know too much. Because at the beginning, I remember I thought, man, I got a certification first. CCNA is a Cisco certification. And I was like, damn, I'm the king. I know it all. But then I realized that I didn't know shit. I know nothing. I didn't know about Linux. I didn't know about cloud. I didn't know about programming, scripting, nothing. Was like, man, I know nothing. And it was like, and it has been like that ever since. Then you see other people and you're like, man, those guys are geniuses, right? Am I an imposter? Have you ever felt that?
Definitely. Yeah. I think it's very typical in tech because it's such a broad field. It's moving so fast. And yeah, the Dunning-Kruger effect?
The what?
The Dunning-Kruger effect.
Oh, I think I have seen it. Is it the one that Prime shows in his videos? I don't know.
I don't
I've
know.
heard it, I think.
There's like it basically says that the less you know about the subject, the more confident you feel initially. Like you learned like 2 points about any subject, and then you feel like massively confident and that you know everything.
Mm-hmm.
But then when you learn a little bit more, then you realize that you don't know anything about this subject.
Mm-hmm.
And then slowly over time, over a long process, they call it the slope of enlightenment in this theory.
Oh,
then
this one. Hold on. Let me
you actually start developing mastery. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. At the beginning of the peak of ignorance. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think I've been here learning. And the more you see other people, the more you realize that the less you know. And it's like, man, so what? It's, yeah.
Yeah, I
Okay.
have it a lot, especially in data science, because a lot of people in the field and coworkers and stuff, they have PhDs in astrophysics and like quantitative fields, and they're very deep into the math of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not that. And that's also part of the reason why I feel much more home in these infrastructure topics. That's why I'm in ML ops ultimately. I find this is much more natural for me to learn and pick up. And yeah, but definitely imposter syndrome is a big thing, because also you can't know everything. I mean, you can't be this math genius in machine learning models and at the same time be a top-notch engineer and then also be very good at communicating and all this stuff that's required for the job, like everybody has, I wouldn't want to say deficiencies, but you can't know it all unless you have 20 years of experience, maybe.
Yeah, that's the thing, experience. I also started really late in life. I started, with this IT related stuff, like 2018. I always liked computers, but I started really late in life. There's people that start at the age of 7, 8, 10, and they continue their whole life and they study that. I didn't finish college when I was younger because I just drank and I just did crazy stuff. I just wasted a lot of time. So I'm starting right now, 8 years old. So I guess comparing is a bad part of it. We all have to be in our own journey at our own pace. I cannot compare myself to ThePrimeagen or TJ. Man, those guys are really smart and they have been doing this for a long time. So that affects as well, comparing ourselves to others, and that's a bad thing, I guess.
I think it's also good to be a multidimensional person and have experience in different fields.
Mhm.
You know the concept of a T-shaped person?
Nope.
I don't. I think it was it Steve Jobs who came up with this, or at least he was a T-shaped person. So the idea is that T-shape is because you have knowledge in a variety of topics, and Steve Jobs was also known for, like, I think he did, what was it, calligraphy or something? Like he was in some kind of artsy subject.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's one area where you go deep. So in your case, you did different things and then you went deep into computers. And I think that's beautiful. If you're only in one area for all your life and you never look outside of that, then the risk is that you become a very one-dimensional person who can only talk about one subject and nothing else,
Yeah, that's a good point. Most of my stuff is IT related. Now I do video. I didn't know anything about video. I like learning about all this stuff, YouTube and all that. So that has taught me a lot as well. But most of my stuff is IT related. My wife is really history related and philosophy related. I need to read more, basically, because she reads books. I don't read books. I read documentation. That's my literature. But yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. And yeah, okay. Now, how has it been living in other country that is not your country? Like, how do you feel?
Yeah, it's always a bit weird, because initially I didn't speak the language. Actually, in the Netherlands, I never really properly learned the language, even though it's close to German. But their level of English is so high in the Netherlands that
that you didn't feel a difference.
Yeah, like even like random people, the cashier at the supermarket, like she would be fluent in English better than me. So, and immediately switch. I actually tried to learn Dutch, but every time I struggled, people would immediately respond in English. And I mean, that's of course amazing and super friendly, but it makes it harder for me to pick up the local language. And in Spain, it was not like that.
Yeah. How is the accent? Because people from Spain, they don't like people from the United States. I think. Don't quote me on this. I have no idea, but their accent in English is way tougher, and they don't like speaking English. Is that right or no?
I guess it really depends. Spain is also very multicultural, and there's a lot of regional differences. And I really know only the Catalonia region and the Balearic Islands. I haven't really have a lot of touch points with the rest of Spain. And even Catalonia region, you could say a lot of people think it's its own country. So there's a big, controversy or debate around that.
How has it been with the language? Because what do they speak there? Spanish, right?
Yeah, Catalan is the first language, and then also Spanish.
Catalan. God damn, that's even more. I don't know, because I have heard Catalan in the movies. It sounds like Spanish, but it's not Spanish, right? So,
to me, I mean, people are going to hate me for this, but to me, it sounds like French spoken with a Spanish.
It's really difficult. I don't understand it. I speak Spanish. That's my main language. But when I watch a movie and it's in Catalan, it's like, what the hell are they talking about? I don't get it.
It's very different.
Speaking Spanish. Yeah. So you have to learn Catalan in Spanish or what?
So in the big cities in Barcelona, basically Catalan is very rarely spoken. It's more outside in the smaller towns, because Barcelona is a very international city. You can also, a lot of people don't even speak any of the local languages. They only speak English, a lot of expats.
Okay.
So you can get by, but personally, I also like learning the local language, at least Spanish. I'm not so keen on Catalan, but just because it is very limited in the kind of the number of people who only speak Catalan. Like, I've never met anyone who only speaks Catalan and not Castilian Spanish. So if I learn Castilian Spanish, I can talk to basically everyone in Catalonia, and then also everyone in Latin America and the rest of Spain. So,
and
so
how's
that's
your
why
Spanish? How's your Spanish now?
Getting worse. It used to be it used to be better when I did my master's here, because I did that in Spanish, and it was much better back then because I used it on a daily basis. And these days, because at work I only speak English, and then at home I speak German, and I do have a few friends that I speak Spanish with, but I'm losing more and more touch points with the language. So I'm losing more and more the practice.
And what about English? Because German is your first language, right? So, so you know 3 languages basically: German, English, and Spanish. And how was the English? Why did you learn English? Is it common in Germany?
I think the average level of English in Germany is quite good. I think most people can get by in English. Most, at least people who went to university or did their high school finished, I think they can get by in English. So it's generally okay, but it was, for me, never on a level where I could have this kind of conversation. And I really wanted to improve on that because I felt limited by that. My thinking was that if I don't speak English, then I can only work and I can only be in Germany. And that was also a motivation why I went to the Netherlands, because the courses were completely in English. And I mean, there are programs that are taught in English also in Germany. But then I knew that, okay, I will only speak or only hear English during the lectures. But once the lecture is over, I'm going to be surrounded only by German people. So I will not get the chance to actually improve it very much.
Okay, interesting. And how old are you, by the way, Hendrik?
I'm an early 90s kid, so I'm 32 at this point.
32? Okay.
Yeah.
32, okay. I'm 38. We're older than Sylvan for sure.
Yeah.
And you mentioned note taking as well. And you mentioned Obsidian, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Is there a reason why you still use Obsidian and haven't fully migrated into Neovim? Because I did use Obsidian as well, but I basically implemented all of the features that I needed from Obsidian and Neovim, and now I only use Neovim. Like, what's your
excuse?
Well, no. Why do you like using Obsidian, basically?
Yeah, so I do use Vim motions in Obsidian. The main reason I'm not using it in Neovim, and sometimes I actually do. Sometimes I open my vault in Neovim. It makes it much easier to find nodes, but I find the readability in Obsidian quite good. So it has much better spacing and this kind of stuff. And even the markdown formatting plugins in Neovim, I find the readability overall is much worse. And a lot of times I just need, like now, for example, I have my Obsidian like behind this MacBook screen, and I can see my notes, and it's just more readable for me.
Yeah, and it's smoother to scroll. That's one thing that I did like about it.
Right.
Because you can scroll with the mouse and it's smoother. But something that I didn't like is the switching of the apps, because I spend most of the day in the terminal. Moving to Obsidian, it was like, oh man, I had Vimotions enabled, right? So I could navigate with Vimotions, but I didn't have all of the ones that I needed, like surround. Like if I wanted to surround something, I couldn't do it. Or if I wanted to do, a little bit more complicated stuff, I couldn't do it. I did go through because there's a way to use your vimrc file, I think it's called, right? So I did modify it a lot, and I implemented a lot of key maps like GH to go to the beginning of the line or GL to go to the end, but it was not enough, and I had to play a lot of tricks. So I just decided, but something that made a huge difference for me, is folds. And that's the way that I navigate files right now. So I'm just gonna quickly show to my screen right now. Let me just open a different file. Because like you said, if I have everything unfolded, right? Hold on.
I love how your cursor looks.
Oh yeah, it's the ghosty thing that they implemented. Yep. But
that's so cool.
Yeah, it's cool. I created a video about it. So it helps seeing where the cursor is, right?
That alone is a reason to switch to ghosty.
Yeah, because it has two colors. It has like orangey. When it lands somewhere, there's like an orange around it. Looks cool. But I get it, what you said. If I would navigate files this way, it's a pain. It's horrible. I don't like it. But ever since I implemented folds, I don't know, I have navigated files this way, and it's not complicated.
Looks clean.
Yeah, it's clean. But folds were like a huge part for me, right? So I do level 2 or level 2 and level 3. If I want to see level 2 and level 3 and jump to a specific section. So I think that that's one of the things that didn't make me miss Obsidian. Then I tried to implement this folding feature in Obsidian, I think, and I couldn't. And I was like, oh, I'm faster in Neovim than in Obsidian, so I just stick to Neovim. And it's been good so far. Do you take a lot of notes?
Yeah, definitely. I try to build a second brain.
Oh, yeah. Do you use the Zettelkasten method?
I have one subdirectory for Zettelkasten, but find it a bit challenging. I do have kind of an inbox directory, which is my fleeting notes. So it's like a daily note with the current date, and this is kind of where I populate the notes that I want to take throughout the day. And then periodically, whenever I have some time and the backlog of these daily notes gets too big, then I kind of rearrange them, and I think, okay, what do I want to capture from them? So I either delete them or I convert them into more permanent notes or like these atomic notes. But I'm having a hard time implementing this linking between nodes. I do it a little bit, but yeah, how do you... what do you think about this? Does it work for you?
Yeah, for that, I use a plugin called Marksman. Well, you install it through Mason, so it's not a plugin, it's just a package, but it's an LSP. It's called Marksman. I have a section here, testing Marksman links. So I have links here, and I use Blink, so it helps me autocomplete a note, right? So if I do GD here, it's gonna jump to this note. What happened here? Oh, there's a swap file. Let me see.
Oh, okay. Swap file.
Yeah.
Favorite Vim error.
Yeah. So I go back with Control O, right? Since it adds it to the jump list when I jump to the other file, or Control I to go back, usual jump list stuff, right? So like here, for example, GD as well, it's going to take me to this file, to this specific heading. I can go back with Control O. And blink is really useful because it helps me autocomplete, right? So if I type something in here, let's say XCPNG, right? That's the name of the note. Notice that it found the notes. I can autocomplete it, and I can autocomplete a heading, right? I don't know why. What can I type here? A, B. There's the headings for this XCPNG file, right? So if I want to add this USB pass-through, for example, takes a little while there. It auto-completed it. Now the link is there, and I can GD. It's going to take me to it. Control O to go back. It's
That
not
looks
perfect.
so cool.
Yeah, it's not perfect, but it works. But I tried the Zettelkasten method, man. I even purchased a course on Udemy about the Zettelkasten method, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna get it this time. I didn't get it. I watched the course, and I was even more confused than when I started. And it was like, I don't understand it. The problem is that I have really long notes, right? I create really long files, and I don't know if the Zettelkasten works that way. Because if I open this one, Kubernetes.md, right? Just notice how many headings. It's a huge file. It has thousands of lines, 14,000 lines, right? So how do I segregate this into smaller nodes? How will it make sense? How will I connect? No, I just, and this is the way that all my nodes are. I have a Docker swarm file in which I, write down all of the Docker swarm information. I don't know how to translate that into Zettelkasten. So I don't know if Zettelkasten is for everyone. I'm not sure. Or maybe I just don't understand it. Maybe there's a way of doing it better. I have no idea. You have any thoughts there?
I mean, at the end of the day, these are just ideas and concepts, right? I mean, they don't have to work for everyone. They work maybe for a specific person very well, the creator, and then maybe they have gotten some following and it worked well for other people. But different brains work in different ways. So I think it's perfectly fine to come up with your own systems, right? I mean, this is what Neovim and configuring it is all about at the end of the day, right?
Yeah, makes sense. But I did give it a try. I watched videos, I didn't understand it, and I was like, no, it's not for me, I guess. Maybe in the future, once I know how to do it, or if someone tech related shows me how to do it properly, I'll give it a chance, but it didn't make sense for me at all.
Right.
Have you tried any of the other new IDEs, like the AI related ones?
Recently, I've tried Claude Code. If you can consider that an IDE. It's just a terminal CLI tool.
I haven't tried it, but I'm interested in trying it. Share with us a bit more.
It's pretty good. I haven't tried Cursor or Lovable or something like that, but Claude Code is amazing, especially with Neovim and tmux. For me, this is the best AI workflow I've seen so far. I've also used Avante before, the Neovim plugin, which is quite cool.
I didn't use it.
You didn't like it, or
I didn't use it? I never installed it. The only one that I installed was Copilot, and it's not that the plugin was bad. It was good. Just Copilot itself, the Microsoft tool or whoever owns it, was crap. And I was like, nah, I don't like this. I uninstalled it and moved on. But I never tried another one.
What about the set open code?
Open code, is that the one by one of the ThePrimeagen guys? Like by one of the guys in the ThePrimeagen gang? Is that the one? It's a CLI tool or something? I'm not sure. Is that the one?
I think he had the creator on the show the other day.
Oh.
Or something like that. I haven't tried the tool, but it looks interesting as well. Anyway, so far, for me, Claude Code is the best, especially combined with Neovim and tmux. Because it's just a CLI tool that you can spin up in a tmux pane.
Okay.
It doesn't disrupt my Neovim workflow at all, pretty much. And the cool thing about it is that it has like a planning mode. And it has access to your entire code base, and also like tools that can do research and other things. And it has even like a configuration file. It has like a global configuration file, and then you can have inside of your repos specific configuration files that are just for this repo. So you can give like basically a system prompt in these configuration files, how you want it to behave. Like, should it not use certain tools? Should it, I don't know, enforce a certain code style that you have or whatever?
And what's the scope that it has? Like, okay, so I go to a path, right, to the path of the project, and I open Claude code in that path. So it's just gonna have access to that directory
Right.
and all the subdirectories inside. Does it have access to stuff above? Can I go to my root directory and all that stuff?
I think by default not. Probably you can tell it that, because you can also, inside of Claude code, you can run any bash command. So you could also do a cd ...
Mhm.
And I guess then it would have access to more directories. But I think by default, it will be limited. It can run bash commands to find stuff. Yeah, so you can also tell it to run bash commands. And this is also quite cool. Like, you have this planning mode where you can kind of discuss your idea. And I say, for example, well, I'm thinking of implementing a class that does this and this. Can you give me some feedback on how this would fit into the overall code base? And then you can kind of go back and forth and come up with a good design and a plan. And then it goes ahead step by step. And at each step, it gives you like a git diff kind of view, the lines it would take out, the lines it would add. And then you can further refine that as well. You can say, okay, just go ahead. Or you can say, no, I don't like this. And then you can say what it should improve. And like this, you can iterate back and forth and come up with a pretty good overall design. And then because it can run any bash command, it uses grep a lot to find files and stuff like this. And then it can also run your tests. And when a test fails, it immediately sees the output and then can reiterate on that and make the improvements in your code base. It's still, sometimes I like it, especially for the planning mode and the brainstorming stuff. But sometimes it can also be a bit hands-off if you rely on it too much. But overall, I really like the integration that it can just be in a tmux pane. It works really well with this Neovim tmux kind of workflow. And it's not overly integrated into the IDE.
Oh, I'm concerned that it's gonna touch other files that it's not supposed to, right? But has that happened to you, or can it touch files outside the project? Because I'm like, what if a file is not tracked? I'm not gonna know if it touched it or not, because if it's in the project, I can see, okay, it modified this, because I can, when I'm about to commit in LazyGit, I can see what changed and everything. But what if it goes outside of the, directory where you started it in, and it modifies stuff out somewhere? Do you know if that's a problem or not? I have no idea.
I guess it depends on how you use it, because in theory, it always tells you what it's going to do and you need to accept each change. But there's also an auto accept mode.
Oh.
And so you could do the auto accept mode and just say, okay, do whatever you want, basically. But then, also the damage is on you in this case.
Okay. Okay. But it's controlled. You can accept what it's about to do, and okay.
Yeah, it gets wild, as we would say.
And I don't want to pay too much, because Rumen pays like $200 for this thing, and I'm like, hell no. If I go to my wife and tell her, hey, I'm gonna pay like $200, she's gonna be like, what the hell are you talking? And I don't want to spend that money on that. How much do you pay for it? Is the $20? Do they have a $20 plan?
I don't have any Claude subscription. It is provided by work. So.
Oh, and it's unlimited?
Pretty much, yeah.
Oh.
But I think it's rate limited, actually. But I only ran into this a couple of times.
Okay. That's a good way to test it, if it's provided at your work company. Okay.
There's also a command. Also, what is cool, I forgot about this. One thing that's cool about Claude Code is that it even has a Vim mode. So when you're typing your prompt, you can even edit this with Vim motions. And there's another command that is cost, and then you can see exactly what you spent, the exact dollar amount of your API consumption. And to be honest, I think it's a bit crazy. So for 10 minutes of serious usage, I think I paid around $2 euros 50, which
Damn.
is
That's a month of
not a little.
ChatGPT. Yeah.
No, 2 euros 50.
Oh, you're right.
I think
Yeah, 2 euros.
ChatGPT
Okay.
is like 20.
It's 20. Yeah.
But still, for 10 minutes of use, it's quite
Yeah,
quite
so
a
in a
lot.
day, you go over $20 for sure.
If you spend the whole day coding, yeah.
I don't like that too much. It's expensive then.
It's definitely expensive. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. I'll probably give it a try. In stuff that I know in and out, like my dot files, I know that I have to rearrange a lot of stuff. So any decisions that it's about to make, I can be like, oh, okay, I like that idea. Yeah, good, implement it. If it's something that I don't know at all and it's going to create it from scratch, I don't see the real benefit unless I want to have a prototype for something. I need to come up with something fast, quick, and I don't care about the code too much. It's fine. But I know my dot files, in and out. So it could help me detect bugs easily, I think, in minor stuff like that, because it has access to the context. So I do see the use case in that scenario, but we'll see. Now, have you thought about or have you heard about Emacs? Have you used Emacs? Have you ever thought about using it?
Oh, Emacs. I have not used it. I'm kind of curious, but I'm also a bit afraid of the Emacs pinky. I'm afraid that it's going to be less ergonomic than Vim. And this is the main deterrent for me. But also, I said that I really appreciate craftsmanship and that you should definitely overinvest into Neovim when you do feel that, when you also appreciate craftsmanship. But I also don't feel like picking up another complex tool from scratch at this point, because I've already spent so much time with the Neovim config. It's a very solid tool. It gets the job done, and the workflow is pretty good. So I don't know, at this point I have also other things on my plate.
Yeah.
That are more bang for your buck.
You're afraid. Yeah. I'm afraid. I'm afraid
yeah.
of trying Emacs because I know that it's gonna be a month all in, and it's gonna take too much of my time because I'm not gonna come up with just a simple config. I will want to configure it the way that I want it, and it's just gonna absorb me. Not a month, maybe even more. And I'm just like, no. It happened to me with Canada, which is a keyboard mapper. I was like, I will try Canada someday. I decided to try it, but I didn't want to try it because I knew that it was gonna take time. It took time. It took a lot of time. Trial, error, trying things. Man, it did take over a month, and I don't enjoy that process, of going into a new tool that that is gonna be difficult. It's way too much work.
Especially if the outlook is that it could just replace your current workflow, but it doesn't refine it further. Maybe in the very long run, maybe it's better, but then I don't think it looks very promising because Vim is already quite good. It's already very efficient. And you know how the joke goes, right? Emacs is not just an editor, it's a whole operating system. So that's actually scary for me.
Yeah. I know for sure that I would have my email there and I would stay the whole day inside Emacs and my calendar because I do see the appeal, right? If in my tool that looks like a terminal, even though it's not a terminal, it's its own, tool, I can have my email, my calendar, edit my files, my blog post, my notes. Man, it's heaven.
You will.
Yeah. I will be there the whole day. I can guarantee you that. So, but the cost of learning it and configuring it's too much that I'm like, no, I'm not doing that at the moment. And talking about that, what was I gonna talk about? Hold on. I was gonna ask you. Oh, yep. Talking about the same related topic. I see you use macOS in your videos. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever thought about switching to Linux, or have you switched to Linux, or do you use Linux?
I actually have Linux installed on a USB stick.
Mm-hmm.
I can, whenever I need to, I have my most important software installed there, like a password manager and access to my cloud and stuff like this. So whenever I need to, I just need to have the stick and the machine available where I can plug it in, and then I have access to my most important documents and everything I need. But I don't use it for work on a daily basis. And the reason for that is that at work, everyone on my team has a MacBook, and the company provides a MacBook. And if I can choose on a hardware basis between a MacBook and a ThinkPad, then I'm definitely going to go for the MacBook. And I do love Linux though, and I think it's the best operating system. But the combination of having really solid hardware and an operating system that is Unix based, that is a very strong factor for me for going for Mac.
Okay. And at this point in time, if you were to buy a laptop, right? Because it happened to me. I was given a MacBook at the previous job I had, and I used it for like 6 years. I hated macOS at the beginning because it's like Windows. It's pretty, macOS-y, and the apps. And I Finder, I don't like Finder at all. But then I customized it, right? And now my macOS doesn't even look like macOS, doesn't act like macOS. macOS is just a base where I install all the stuff that I want, and it allows me to do what I want. I don't have any limitations in macOS. I have my bar at the top the way that I want it, right? So if I switch here, this doesn't look like macOS, right? I have a window manager, and it doesn't get in the way. Once, of course, you go through the process of configuring it and setting it to your liking, it's just, something that you can work on. macOS for me is just, I don't like macOS. I like the ability and the hardware that it gives, and that it allows me to do what I want to do. Yeah, the Apple logo is the only thing that tells that it's macOS, right? But
yeah, I mean, if you spend most of your time in the terminal anyway,
yeah,
it doesn't matter if you're running
in the browser,
if you're running Ghostty on Linux or on macOS. If that's your main app, I think the difference is not going to be that huge. And I spend most of my time in the terminal or the browser, maybe Obsidian, sometimes DaVinci Resolve, but that's about it. And I don't think the experience at the end of the day would be super different if I was running Linux.
Yeah. What would you buy if you were, at this point in time, you needed to buy a computer? Would you go with a Mac, or would you go with something and start with Linux?
Oh, to be honest, I have no idea what's out there. I haven't done any research lately. I think I would go with a Mac, but mostly because these days I'm also into making videos.
Yeah.
And I find that especially there, you can't have a fully keyboard-centric workflow. And working with a trackpad and having this big trackpad available, that is definitely a benefit for non-coding tasks. So I would definitely consider a MacBook, but also they have gone up in prices quite a bit. So I would need to do some digging there.
Yeah, I don't know if they will keep going up with what is it? All of the stuff that is going on in the US right now. And integration, that's another thing, like Roman said in the comments, integration with the iPhone. This is my camera right now, the iPhone. For a quality to look the way that it looks right now, I would need to purchase like a pretty expensive camera, right? So no, I'm just using my iPhone. The operating system detects it as a camera. I can use it, right? And I don't need to buy a dedicated camera. The ecosystem, I like it a lot. I have the watch as well. The keyboard, I have a different keyboard, but it's comfortable. I do like the ecosystem. And for video editing, it's way simpler, man. DaVinci works great. OBS works great as well. This is where I do all the stuff. If I wouldn't be doing video related stuff, I would give Linux
Definitely
a better chance. Definitely. I installed Arch a few days ago. I have not even logged into Arch because my video editing and all that process happens here in macOS, all the different applications that I use, the phone. So if I wouldn't be doing video stuff, I would definitely use Linux, but I don't know. I just got used to the workflow in macOS, I guess. So,
how was your experience with Arch? Because I did a poll on my channel the other day asking people which OS they're using, and I split Arch from Linux, and I gave Arch its own category. And surprisingly, 34% voted that they're using Arch. And I was a bit surprised by that. I mean, it could be a bit of a sampling bias because maybe Arch users are more vocal about the operating system that they're using. So probably all the Arch users responded there. But also, I don't know. Maybe actually a third of my audience are using Arch. So I'm definitely super curious to explore that. So how was your experience?
installation, they tell you to install Arch from scratch, right? Don't use Arch install because there's a script that shows you like a graphical interface in which you select what packages you want to install in the configuration options. That's for noobs. They say, I don't care. That's what I went with. But still, it's confusing because there's a lot of different options. Linux is really flexible. So coming from macOS, it's like, okay, so I had like 20 different options on the screen at a time. I had to choose Hyperland, Sway. I don't know if it was a window manager, and the other one said, I don't know. It was really confusing. I didn't know which one to go with. Everyone in the videos, and if you search in YouTube, Hyperland is everywhere. So I went with Hyperland. I chose, in theory, I didn't choose the right login screen. They say that is not compatible with the window manager that I chose. So it was confusing, to be honest with you. So I want to try Omarchy, the one by DHH. And he comes from macOS. He has a lot of sensibilities, we could say, like a lot of macOS user sensibilities. I don't care about Arch install too much and installing Arch from scratch. I just want to have something that works. And I don't think I'm gonna use that installation that I did. It works, but I don't want to maintain it. I'm not gonna learn anything from maintaining an Arch configuration. I already know all this stuff, right? So the idea is that by installing Arch from scratch, you learn, but you're just copying and pasting commands from a guide on the internet, right? So what are you really learning? If you know nothing, maybe you can learn something, but you already know your stuff. I know my stuff, so it's not gonna be useful for me at all. Maybe someone starting, I guess, could be kind of useful to learn the Linux basics by installing Arch. But I've installed Linux on servers way many times. I know how to do a lot of stuff in Linux. So it depends on where you're at. At this point in my life, for me personally, Omarchy is the one that I want to try. I don't want to take all the decisions, invest all this time, learn. No, I just want someone that knows to do it for me, and I just go ahead and use it. But that's the one that I want to give it a try. Have you heard about it, or have you watched any videos about Omarchy?
I've seen it in thumbnails, but I haven't clicked on the videos yet. So, so is it kind of like an Arch
It's
distro,
an
or like
Arch
pre-configured
distro.
Arch?
Arch.
Okay.
I don't know what it is. I don't know what the Arch purists think it is, because to me it's a distro. It's just a Linux distro. I'm not completely sure if it's, but yeah, it gives you everything. You install it, gives you the login screen, an application launcher. DHH, I watched a video yesterday. He even offered $5,000 if someone could submit a PR to Chromium, so you could change the Chrome colors. And when you change your theme in Omarchy, and that seems that is going to be coming as well. So it allows you to do a lot of stuff. If you change your theme, it changes everywhere. Omarchy.
Omarchy?
We're gonna say it all the different ways. We're gonna get one right. Omarchy, Omarchy.
I like
Omarchy.
Omarchy.
Yeah?
Yeah, let's go with that.
But yeah, it seems that it's a distro. Looks cool. And that's what I want at this point in life. I don't want to figure it out.
Maybe it's the same as with Neovim distros. You start with something where a lot of stuff comes out of the box. You learn a lot. You see what it is capable of, and then you take what you like at some point, and you start your own config, and then you discard what you don't need, and you keep what you liked, and then build on top of that.
Yeah. Yep. What are your thoughts on the other two operating systems? Do you like macOS, or you just use it because you have to use it?
macOS is cool overall. I think the default window management is atrocious. It couldn't be worse, honestly. But there are ways around it. It is still, I prefer it much over Windows, though. I think the last great Windows was XP.
Yeah.
And I grew up with that, so I'm a bit biased. But I felt that was a solid OS, honestly. And these days, at least macOS is sort of clean, that it doesn't feel as bloated as Windows. But I also haven't spent a lot of time with the latest Windows versions. Windows 7.
Windows 7 was good. Yeah. XP and Windows 7. They felt stable, right? Now, you go to Windows and you have some Windows that look like Windows 7. They look like really old Windows stuff, and it's not consistent. I don't know. I feel Windows slow as well, because I'm using a Windows computer at work right now. Man, I don't like it. And it's a good computer. It's a pretty decent, powerful computer, but no, not Windows.
Doesn't feel the same way.
No, it doesn't. What do you use for Window Manager in macOS, by the way?
I just use Carabiner, and there's a small tool called Rectangle.
Oh,
it's a very
Rectangle.
simple. It's a very simple utility, and I combine that with Carabiner. So there's like rectangle commands that you can run from terminal, and using Carabiner you can run terminal commands that you can trigger with a shortcut. So basically I have in Carabiner different layers.
If you want to show your screen, that's fine. I don't know if you want to, or you'd rather not.
Yeah, maybe we can do that. Do you need to point me to my screen?
Yep, I'll switch to your screen. There.
Okay. Let's see, actually. I think in one video I showed it, and I had like a screenshot or something of my layout. Here.
Okay.
Maybe I can zoom in a bit.
No, I can see it there. Looks quite good. Okay, that's better.
Yes, so that's kind of my setup. So I have the tab key as a hyper key, and then I can pair that with either E for expose or W for window. And so expose basically means that then the home row and the row below it, they become certain apps. So tab E, and then what is it? H will take me to Finder, and then J is Brave, and K is wezterm. So basically the apps that I use most, they are on the easiest to reach keys. And also tab E and W, they're also very convenient to reach. And then on W, I have different window positions.
Oh, okay.
So basically this uses rectangle under the hood, and I can position the window in all these different ways.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so that's essentially my kind of workflow, and has been working quite well so far. I really don't like.
I switched to our screen, by the way. I switched back to our screen.
Cool. I really don't like having to think about window management a lot and dragging and dropping, drag and drop or resizing or this kind of stuff. I just want to press one key and just see exactly what I want to see, and not think about it too much.
Yeah, I did something similar with Carabiner in the past to switch to my different apps. My dog is barking outside. I don't know if you can hear it or not, but yeah,
a little bit.
When I talk, he barks. God damn it! But I'll leave it there. Now, I don't like, because I see that people have workspaces, right? So in workspace 1, I want to keep this application. In workspace 2, all of these other applications. Workspace 3, all of the. It doesn't make sense at all. I keep all of them in the default desktop or the default workspace, and I just switch to them, right? So
Same.
yeah, because it doesn't make too much sense to move them to different workspaces. It's just keep all of them in the same workspace, switch to them with my keyboard, and that's it. My terminal is the only one that is in a different workspace right now, right? So if I come here, this is on desk 2, on the macOS desk 2. If you look here above, how can I bring it here? Desk 2. All of the other ones are in desk 1, right? Everything. So that is the only one that I move because of the background. I like the blurred background, but the rest of them, browser and all of it is on the desktop 1. So have you thought about using a window manager like Yabai or Aerospace so that you could achieve what I'm talking about here? Not worry about where the apps live, have all of them in the same space, but let the window manager manage your windows. Like I always like them this size, so that's what I use it for, basically, so that it puts the application of a specific size on the screen.
Right. Well, I tried Yabai and Amethyst, I think it's called. But to me, the concept of window tiling never made sense. Especially because I have a widescreen monitor, and then it just snaps it like to the left half of the screen. And this is very uncomfortable for me. I wanted to be in the center. And only if I need to switch or see two apps side by side, that's actually the only time I make full use of the widescreen monitor. I actually regret a little bit buying it because I make so little use of the screen real estate. I think a normal 16:9 monitor would be much better, honestly, because 90% of the time I just have the main app on full screen and I just want to switch between apps. And when I need to go to a different app, I just press a button and the next app becomes full screen, and that's it. And I don't really like having, 3 apps open and having them tiled, and then you can't really see what you want to see. I can see the merit in that. I can see that for some workflows it makes sense, but for me it didn't click.
Yeah, it's too much organizing. You waste a lot of time. It defeats the purpose. For me, tiles are a mistake as well. Tiles are the exception, right? If I need to do something that requires me to use tiles, I'll do it, right? Like if you're a web developer and you need to code and see what's happening on the right on your browser, that's an exception. That's a case in which you could use tiles. But other than that, why go through the pain of having tiles, organizing them, moving them? No, it doesn't make sense. It's just a waste of time. That's my hot take. And tiles are a mistake, man. They are useful, but they're an exception. They're useful sometimes.
And even in that case, you don't really need tiles. You just need to have Rectangle can do that. You just need to
2 apps.
Have exactly one window cover the left half and the other window cover the right half, and that's pretty much the same at that point.
Yeah, I use the window manager in a really basic way. Just put the app on the screen, occupy most of the space, but I also have the other application on the side, right here, Skitty Notes. So you could use Yabai. Since your monitor is really big, you could use Yabai. This is the padding. On the right side, I have the padding. So you could configure a huge padding on the right, and you could configure a huge padding on the left of your monitor, right? So here, a padding here, and a padding here on the right in Yabai, and you could have your application centered on the screen at all times. And yeah, it's something that you can give a try as well.
Definitely, I'll look into it.
Yeah, and moving on to other topics, non-related stuff. Oh, by the way, I just want to thank the CEO, which is Web23. I have sponsorships. Well, not sponsorships, YouTube members, right? And there's one of the guys decided to get the membership, CEO membership. It's Web23, web23.com. I'm just saying it right now because then I'll forget. So just want to appreciate and thank all the different guys that have become members as well. Do you have any thoughts on social media? Are you a slave
On
of social media?
I think we all are at this point. Do you consider YouTube social media?
Yeah, I think.
Then definitely, that's where I spend most of my time. When it comes to social media, I deleted Instagram from my phone because it was just a huge time sink and I didn't get a lot of value out of it. There are some people that I like to stay in touch with, and I had some cases where I reached out to someone over Instagram. That's, for example, also how I found my fitness coach that I've been working with. But overall, 99% of the time, it's just a waste of time. So at least on YouTube, I see that as more of a high quality social media. You need to be a bit careful with shorts, in my opinion. And I do have an app that restricts the amount of shorts I can watch.
Uh-huh.
Because, I mean, there's some people that make amazing shorts that are also informative. You learn something. But then there's always a lot of randomness in there at some point. And then you just start looking at stuff that you didn't sign up for, you know?
Yeah. Especially if it's stand-up comedy. Man, if you watch one of stand-up and it's gonna show you a lot of stand-up and you're just gonna go to the next and the next and the next and the next. And
yeah, exactly. Like right now, my YouTube is full of watches just because I bought a watch recently. And like, it's such a rabbit hole, such a nerdy rabbit hole as well. And I like watches, but I don't care about it so much, you know? I don't need to see it every day. Like I find the YouTube algorithm is a bit oversensitive, you know? You expressed the slightest bit of interest in a topic and then just, okay, that's your personality, you know? That's all you're gonna see.
I feel sorry for the guys that click on one of my videos because then they're gonna get spammed with them.
Yeah.
If you watch one of my videos, man, you're gonna get all of them afterwards. So
yeah, they're gonna get sucked into the Neovim rabbit hole.
Man, Neovim and then macOS, and they're just gonna get lost for a couple months there.
Yeah, and soon they find themselves becoming an Arch user, and
their partners are like, "What happened, man? I just clicked on a video."
yeah, that's how it goes.
Yeah, but that's
why we're all here.
Yeah, exactly. ThePrimeagen's fault, man.
Right.
Now, and how is it with the YouTube Analytics app? Like because there's two apps, right? YouTube, and if you do YouTube, you also install another app, which is YouTube Studio. And if there's someone out there that doesn't know what YouTube Studio is, because this is something that people that do YouTube use, is an app that you use just to look at the analytics, like how the videos did, how the video is doing, how many views it has, likes, comments. It sucks you in. It's hell. It's horrible. How has that been for you? You don't post that often, so maybe it's not a huge problem for you. I don't know. I just want to hear your thoughts there.
I think it is actually because for this exact reason, I don't have so many videos. So one bad video is more weight in the grand scheme of my content.
You're not used to failing like I am.
Yeah, exactly. The other day I made videos about Coolify. Do you know Coolify? It's like this, basically a self-hosted Vercel, just open source.
Okay.
So it allows you to self-host your own, manage your server and self-host your own app and have like deployment workflows and stuff like that. And these videos didn't perform as well as other videos. Now I think they got a little bit more traction.
Oh, this
one below. The one below actually was much worse. That's my the job market. That one was my worst video so far. And the YouTube
you felt what I feel regularly. You get used to it. But it's a lot of work. It sucks because you put hours into these things and they just So what happened then?
And the studio app, it roasts you, you know? It shows you this video, people are not interested in this. Yeah, exactly. 85% less people are watching it than usual, and it doesn't get enough engagement, this kind of thing. And then it compares it to your other videos, and you feel a little bit like you're now stuck with doing what worked in the past, you know, and you can't talk about something else. And I don't really like that. I want to do I want to talk about what I like to
Yeah.
talk about at the end of the day.
Yeah, the name of your channels is Henry Misc. It's not Henry Neovim Misc, right?
Exactly. And I mean, Vim and Neovim, I do have a lot more to share on that. It's a topic that I'm really passionate about. And I think this will be one of the core pillars also going forward. But if I just want to talk about, I have a video about watches, a short actually. If I just want to talk about watches, then I'm just gonna fucking do it and make a video about watches because, you know, that's what interests me, and I'm feeling it at that moment, you know.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on niching down? Because that's YouTube advice, you know. So pick a topic, stick to it, and niche down as much as possible. So if it's gonna be Neovim, just do Neovim, and that's it. That's general advice out there. I don't like that at all. I don't want to do you just Neovim. If I install Neovim today, that's fine. If I install Emacs tomorrow, I'll make a video about it. If I install macOS, if I install Arch, if I install Windows, if I install whatever I want to install, I just want to share it out there. What are your thoughts on just sticking to a topic? Because that's what they tell you to do, right?
Yeah, I have a few thoughts on that. I think it makes sense to stick to a core topic that you want to be known for. And most of the time it should be about that. But then also I see people like, let's pick Joe Rogan, for example. Like, he's a podcaster and he also shares his other interests, right? Like, he likes hunting, he likes MMA. And I believe that opens up the possibility to create actual fans and super fans, people that really resonate with Joe Rogan as a person. Like, if he was just interviewing people and not sharing any personal interests or whatever, then he's just a podcaster. I mean, you can like it and follow him, but if you're also into MMA, then chances are you become a big fan of Joe Rogan. And if you're into MMA and hunting as well, you're going to become a super fan. And so even though I think it makes sense to stick to like a core topic, it also makes sense to share just who you are as a person. And this is also what I want to explore more, because I haven't done that a lot in the past. But I believe that's really valuable because that shows you are a human, and that gives the possibility for people to connect with you and actually, yeah, you know, not just know you for Vim, but know you for who you are as a person. And I guess it's still possible to pivot over time, but maybe it shouldn't be like very abrupt. It should be maybe into ancillary topics.
Yeah,
from
gradually.
Vim. Yeah, that makes sense. And then gradually talk about other things. Like Luke Smith, I believe, he's doing something completely different now, right? Like, he's on a farm and he did these philosophy videos.
Mm-hmm.
But he had a huge fan base just talking about Vim and things like that. It might have been a little bit abrupt, but
yeah.
But I guess you can still do it.
So basically, create a cult. That's what I'll do. So when I gradually switch
that's the main takeaway, yeah,
into Emacs, all of these guys, the ones in the chat, they will not even notice it, but they will have Emacs installed, and they will be looking at their email in Emacs and calendar and all that stuff. They'll be following my cult. So that's what you have to basically do, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And do you have any thoughts on drugs and alcohol?
You don't shy away from sensitive topics.
Yeah, I don't shy away from sensitive topics. Yeah.
I mean, I have no problem as such with drugs or alcohol. It depends, of course, like on the amount of abuse. Like, if you're an alcoholic or like an addict, that's of course a different story. But in general, I don't have any fundamentalist beliefs or something like this, that this is like fundamentally wrong or anything like that. So I drink sometimes, but not regularly. Like, maybe every other week I have a glass or so, but also not in huge quantities. It used to be a bit different, like, you know, early 20s, this kind of thing. But
did it ever go out of control or no?
Not to the point where like I was addicted or anything, but definitely moments where I drank way too much. That's for sure. I think a lot of people had that experience. I never took any hard drugs.
Okay.
I studied in the Netherlands, So there's also no way around weed because it's legal there. That's also never like a lot or very regularly, just, trying it. I am very curious these days, though, about psychedelics and the application of psychedelics, not like as a party drug, but more for to learn about yourself and, get a bit more to the bottom of more existential questions.
Like ayahuasca stuff or mushrooms or what?
Yeah, that kind of stuff. I got this book from my fiance. She gave it to me some time back. I still have to finish it. It's called How to Change Your Mind by Michael Pollan. You know it?
No.
It's basically about this research with psychedelics and how they're gaining more momentum in research, especially to cure addictions and psychological disorders and diseases. For example, I think psilocybin or something like this has been in the research the most effective treatment to cure heroin addiction. And I think that's because they have like therapy. Like they don't just take it and then they're cured, but there's like therapy sessions that are kind of guided and stuff like this. That's what I understand from the research so far and what I've read about the topic so far. And then they administer this psychedelic. And a lot of times the root cause why people started taking heroin in the first place is trauma in their life or something similar. And they're unable to resolve the trauma just on their own by themselves. So they have these guided sessions and the psychedelic kind of helps them get to the root cause and understand what led them to the point where they are in the first place. So it helps to break these barriers. And I think that's like, I'm a total newbie in this topic, but I think it's super fascinating that this is even a possibility. And yeah, I think the power of psychedelics is very underappreciated, but I haven't tried them myself. I'm just very curious.
Oh, yeah, makes sense. That is one of the cases in which I would try them if I'm deep into heroin and I cannot go out, because it's not as simple as I'm not gonna do it anymore, right? I'm in favor of maybe giving a try, experiment, see if it works, because what else can you lose? When you're in that level of addiction, and especially with something like heroin, what are you gonna lose by trying? If it works, awesome, but if it doesn't, well, you're just gonna but my stance on drugs usually is, if you haven't opened that door, that you shouldn't be opening it, because you're gonna access stuff that you are not supposed to unlock. Just don't do it. That's my general advice. And it depends as well on your personality. I'm pretty addictive. I went all in alcohol. I went all in on drugs, hard drugs, and marijuana every day for a long time, addictive completely.
Oh.
My personality does not play well with drugs. So I guess that has a lot to do as well. There's people that control it, and it's like, I'm gonna try it and leave it there, But yeah. I guess I speak based on my own experience. It wasn't good, so I just try to avoid it, for other people that haven't gone through that experience.
Is it the same with drinking for you? Like you don't drink ever?
No, not at all. I haven't drank in 10 years. I can't.
Oh, wow.
I'm an alcoholic, so the only thing that I drink now is 0% beers. Because I'm an alcoholic. I cannot drink. If I drink, that's just going to ignite the flame and it's just going to explode and I'll go back. No. And one thing is going to lead to the other. I'll drink, I'll smoke, I'll do cocaine. No. So.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. Me and my wife, we both were living the crazy life. Man, both of us were crazy. None of us stopped. And that's a bad combination. Usually there's a people crazy and one calm. It wasn't our case, and it didn't go well. So we just stopped. not because we could do it. I'm not saying it's easy, and that if you drink, you just know, man, it is impossible to stop drinking. I was lucky. That's what happened. I was lucky. I was able to quit, and I cannot do it anymore because it's really dangerous. So I just completely cut it. No, I'm not doing it again. Hopefully, you never know, but hopefully.
That makes sense. It's also a very, I mean, it shows a deep level of self-reflection if you're able to know that about yourself and to realize that about yourself, that you have that kind of personality trait.
Oh yeah,
that tends towards addiction.
Yeah, no, I can't. And my daughter is there. No, she has never seen me drink, and I don't want her to see that. No, it's wasn't good, and it's not gonna be good. So I just completely. I don't go to my dad drinks. You know, he's 65 years old. He still drinks, and I'm like, why, man? Me and my 4 brothers, we are alcoholics. You know, and none of us is drinking at the moment, and he still drinks, and it's like, man, like don't you see that we're trying to recover? I don't go to places where people are drinking because it's not good for me, you know, but it's because of the condition that I have. It's a disease. Basically, being an alcoholic is a disease. You have to treat it as such, and just be careful.
Definitely,
take care of yourself.
I mean, it makes sense, right? If you can have a few beers every other weekend and then let go, then I think it's completely fine. But if you know you can't, or you struggle with that, then it fully makes sense to completely stay away.
Yep. Do you have any thoughts on supreme being, like God? Do you have any thoughts there? Anything you want to share?
Another sensitive question.
Another sensitive topic. Yeah. We're gonna get canceled before we're even famous.
Right. Never even gonna happen. Well, you know, I tolerate all religions and any beliefs people might have and traditions people might have, as long as they don't harm anyone, or, you know, as long as we're all free to believe what we want, I have no problem with any belief. And so personally, I grew up Christian, on paper at least. My family in practice was more agnostic. And so this is also kind of how I've been raised. At this point, I am not part of any church, because in Germany, I exited the church because, I don't know if you know this, but in Germany, you have church tax.
Oh, no. Like you have to give a certain amount of your salary to the church, or?
Yeah, so when I had my first payslip ever, I looked at it and there was like one line that says church tax. And it was actually a lot of money, and I wasn't making a lot of money at that time. And
I cannot afford this right now. I cannot afford God.
And the thing is, like in Germany, this is kind of a subscription that you opt in by default, but you can still opt out.
Oh.
So, but then you need to leave the church. So that's what I did. Someone else made this experience, and it's a lot of money. It's actually a lot of money.
Like what percentage is it?
I don't know what the percentage was, but in my case, it was like 50 euros or something.
Oh,
so that's like 2 times ChatGPT.
Yeah.
And
I'm not even that religious, right?
And the thing is, like, I have no problem with that per se. It's just that I have a little bit of, how do I say it without offending anyone? But there have been so many scandals around the Catholic Church in recent years that it's not that I don't trust them, but they also haven't really earned my trust. Like I'm not sure if I'm giving them money that it will be used for something that I agree with. So I'd rather not. I mean, I'm not against them in any way or anything, but at least I don't want to give them money at this point. Maybe they can convince me that what they're doing is great. I haven't really dig deep into that. Then maybe it's fine. But at this point, I'm not convinced about that. So that's why I opted out. And regarding supreme being, so I'm quite open. I'm not very set on God does exist or it doesn't, or one religion is correct or the other. I'm still kind of in the open inquiring sort of on these questions. And I don't have a final answer, but there's a thought experiment by Alan Watts that I found really insightful, that has really shaped my perspective on things. You know Alan Watts?
Nope. I'm an ignorant. I just don't know about authors, books, or anything. I just know about terminals, Neovim. My wife is the one that knows about that stuff.
He was this philosopher, American philosopher. I think it was in the 60s and 70s. There's still a lot of recordings from him on YouTube. And he just talks about all kinds of things. I think he was also big in psychedelics, but don't quote me on this. Anyway, he had this thought experiment. And this really blew my mind and changed how I think about this topic, even though it didn't lead me to a final answer. Do you want to hear it?
Yep, I want to hear it, for sure.
Okay. So the thought experiment by Alan Watts goes something like this. So imagine you have the ability to every night dream any dream you want to dream. And the dream lasts 75 years or something like this, or any duration that you want, really. That's your superpower. So what we would probably do is initially just have every kind of pleasure that we want to have, right? Because we can decide what we want to do in this dream. And the dream lasts a lifetime. So you would live like a life, just pleasure, doing whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe after 100, maybe 1,000 nights like this, it's going to be a bit boring. So you would start to spice things up a little bit and make something happen that you don't know it's going to happen. Something's going to happen that you don't know what it is. And then you would maybe come out of this dream and think, whoa, this was a close call. That was kind of interesting. And then you would venture out further and further and make bigger and bigger gambles about what you can do in these dreams. And at the end of the day, at some point, you would dream exactly where you are right now. You'd be dreaming the dream of living the life that you're living right now. That would be within the infinite realm of possibilities of this ability. So what he says is that it is kind of like you would be pretending that you don't have this ability to create these dreams, but you are actually the creator of these dreams. And I'm not saying that this is correct or incorrect, but I think it's a very interesting idea to play with and to entertain. And that's pretty much how the thought experiment goes. What do you think?
So in the end, you would end up acting the way that you're acting right now, even though you could do many other things. You could do whatever you want. Because you said at the beginning, you'll get bored of drugs, alcohol, all that stuff. And in the end, you're going to end up doing what you're doing right now, correct?
Exactly. You would impose further and further limitations and randomness into those dreams. And within all the possibilities, the infinite nights and infinite years, at some point, you would arrive exactly where you are right now.
That's interesting. And you don't have any beliefs then on a supreme force or something out there?
Well, I guess I don't have any beliefs. I'm saying like I'm willing to entertain different ideas, but I haven't arrived at a final conclusion yet that is definitive. I just think that like this are very interesting. And in this case, let's say this turns out to be true, then the supreme being would be that basically in this world, God would be an infinite mind that is able to imagine everything, including this life that we're living right now. So it's not really a being as such. It's more like a mind in which everything exists. And I'm not saying that this is correct or not. I'm saying this is a interesting thought to entertain.
Yeah, man, we try to understand something that we don't understand, right?
Maybe God
Something
is an arch user.
something out there creates universes, right? They're being created, they're being destroyed, galaxies, and we're trying to understand all this that doesn't make sense. It's like if an ant was trying to understand, a country, it can't. It's way too big. So complicated stuff. No one has the answer. I think you find God when tough stuff happens to you. Like in my case, my addiction and all that, it was thanks to something. I want to think it's God, not Jesus Christ, because that's the way that I was raised, but I don't know. We cannot understand it. I think it has way too many shapes. It's ununderstandable. So it's just going to get to you the way that it has to get to you. It's that's gonna be either science, it's gonna be Jesus, it's gonna be Krishna, it's gonna be Buddha, it's gonna be however you understand it. I don't know. It's what can I say about it? I don't understand, and no one does. So we just have to, I guess, whatever makes you a better person, as long as it makes you a better person, it works. That's fine, right? And like I said in another call, imposing it to other people, that's where the problem is. I'm not gonna come to you and say, Hendrik, you have to believe in Krishna because that's the no, man. What saying do I have into what you want to believe? I have no saying at all, right? Just stick to what it works for you, respect everyone else, and just don't mess with people and don't harm them, right? Because
exactly, we are all like, here and being kind of lost about things and figuring this life out. And, I mean, maybe there are people who are closer to it than others, but still, nobody likes unsolicited advice.
yeah, and they don't know. Nobody knows, man. Not even the
that's
gurus.
also a possibility.
Yeah. So not even the gurus that tell me what to do, and that help me, they don't know, right? So we're just connecting to something out there that is making us better people. And whatever that it is for you, it's not gonna be the same for everyone, right? So yeah, unsolicited advice. Same thing happens with vegetarianism. I don't go around in life and tell everyone, hey, you should stop eating meat. Hey, you're eating, because I'm just going to not cause the effect that I want, right? I don't want animals to be killed. But I'm not gonna be saying it to everyone, to my friends. None of my friends is vegetarian. None of my family members is vegetarian. Nobody. But I'm not gonna be like, hey, you guys have to stop eating meat. Because I'm going to do the opposite. They're just gonna hate it. They're not gonna be open about it. And I'm just going to, no, I'm not going to achieve what I want. What do you think? Yeah. What do you think of that? Do you go around in life and tell them, hey, you should stop killing animals and stop eating meat and all that? Or
yeah, exactly. Also, everyone's life story and situation is very different. For example, in May of this year, I was in South Korea and cycling through the country. And so I spent a lot of time in the South Korean countryside during that time. And I basically had to eat whatever was available there. Like there, it was impossible to be a vegetarian. And also, like, I don't speak even the language. It was super hard to communicate with people even. And I'm not going to be there telling like a 70-year-old grandma who runs a restaurant in the countryside to like, well, can you maybe, I'm a vegetarian. I know you don't know what this is, but can you, I don't like the meals the way you make them, Like everybody's life situation is very different. And there are people who have conditions where they can't do that. Maybe they live in a place where they don't have good availability. Like, I mean, in Barcelona, it's very easy, but in other places, it's very hard. So I would also understand if you're not vegetarian because your environment is not very supportive of that. And even that, at the end of the day, there's still a debate if this is actually the best, and all be all. And I'm not convinced that everyone would benefit from being a vegetarian. Maybe some people not, you know. But it's something that works well for me and has been working quite well, so I keep doing it. And it's aligned with what I believe in. But I also understand if for someone else it doesn't click.
Yeah, just respect everyone, basically, right? Just let them do what they want to do. Same thing I say to my daughter, right? So she's the only kid in school, like in the entire school, that is vegetarian. I tell her, you don't go around and telling people that they don't have to eat meat. No, you have to respect them. Everyone can do whatever they want. You don't do it because that's the way that we teach you in the house. We don't do it. That's it. You don't care what other people is doing, because it's confusing, right? Her grandma, her grandpa they eat meat. Everyone in my family eats meat, and it's confusing for her. And it's like, but what the hell is going on then? So respect. Basically, it boils down to respect.
And realistically, you can't change people. The only way that I had any success, I don't want to say converting, but convincing people that this is a good idea, is when they came to me with a genuine curiosity and they were interested why I'm doing it.
Yeah.
And then I share why I'm doing it without saying that you should do the same. But I believe this is how I had the most success in getting the message across. And it doesn't work if I just, go up to random people and tell them, well, you should do the same, that's not how it works. It also doesn't work at work with like Neovim. Like I'm preaching the gospel of Neovim at work, but nobody cares.
Nobody. Same thing happened to me, man. I was like, I have a friend. Well, we're still friends. We meet each Wednesday. He's from the US, and he used Emacs. And I I never try to get him into Neovim. He was like, why do you do that? No, you cannot convince anyone to do anything unless they reach out. That's when you got him, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. No one at work understands your passion for all this. Can you talk to someone about it, or no? You're just there by yourself with your terminal, and when you share your screen, they're like, "What is this guy doing?"
There are a few people who are into Neovim and CLI tools, and I even started at work a Slack channel called CLI Wizards. And so there are like 20, 30 enthusiasts are in the channel.
I created a Slack channel. Neovim was just like 3 folks there, and it's a huge company, and didn't work.
Neovim is also very specific. I think in the CLI Wizards, there are also people who don't necessarily use Neovim. They're just passionate about Linux.
Good idea.
But yeah, there are like 5, 6 people maybe who also use Neovim. And I mean, that's pretty cool. That's always a great way to connect.
Do they know you have a channel?
I think these people, not specifically, but in my team, most people know. But I would be surprised if they were watching, because probably they're not very interested in this nerdy rabbit hole.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. Now, what tools do you use to push to GitHub? Like if you use GitHub or GitLab, whatever, what tool do you use? Do you use LazyGit or just commands, or what?
LazyGit.
LazyGit? Yeah. You like it?
Yeah, it's solid. Yeah, I used to have aliases for Git commands set up, like, GA for Git add and GP for Git push and stuff like this. It works to some extent. I also built some custom Git workflows with FZF, and alias them to make it a bit smoother, but it doesn't beat LazyGit, man. LazyGit is too good.
Yeah, same here. You just stage a file easily. You don't have to type a thing. You just stage it, C to commit, type your message, you're good to go. Pretty simple. You get the preview. You can scroll through the file. You can go into the file and pick a specific section to just commit that specific part. It's an awesome tool. Yeah, I use LazyGit as well. And
even the more complex workflows like interactive rebase and like squashing commits and renaming and this kind of stuff, that tends to be a bit hard to remember if you do it manually, but in LazyGit it's like so easy.
I don't even get it with LazyGit. Sometimes I get into shit and I'm like, what the hell happened here? And I just delete the whole changes, go back, fuck this, and start over, man. Sometimes I just get into places where I cannot go out of, and I'm like, fuck this. But
it happens to me as well.
Yeah, it's an amazing tool. And for work, it worked as well, because I just created my branch in there, named the branch, and then just push my changes. The only thing I had to go to GitHub was to merge the PR and all that stuff. I could have used another tool. There's this guy that I had an interview with, GitHub CLI. What is it called? What is the name of that tool called? Damn, I don't even remember. Dash? GH dash, I think it is. Yeah, you can merge, you can view issues, I think. Yeah, GH dash. I don't remember. But okay. And tmux, you're into tmux as well, because you mentioned that for Claude Code, you can open a tmux Spain. So what else do you use tmux for?
Everything pretty much. I usually have one session per project that I'm working in.
Okay, awesome. Okay. The way the Lord intended.
Exactly. Exactly.
Sessions, okay?
Yes. And then that's pretty much it. I mean, then the main Neovim window, I sometimes do like a pane on the side, maybe with Claude Code in some cases. Then I have different windows, sometimes to see a different code base or to spin up a server or something like this. Like in data science projects, we work a lot with Jupyter notebooks. I hate them, but sometimes I need to run Jupyter notebooks. And at least then I can spin up the server in a different window and then go to my browser. But yeah, man, don't get me started on Jupyter notebooks. That's the worst part of data science, in my opinion.
Yeah, I did receive a course in university where I had to run some of those notebooks. I had to go to a page and get some notebooks and just run them in the, Google Colab thing.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, not fun.
Yeah, it's horrible. And it doesn't have, they're Vim plugins, but then it's really not the same. They're very limiting, even worse than Vim in Obsidian. And
so you cannot implement them in Neovim. There's no way around it.
There is. I actually want to explore this possibility. There's a plugin called, I forgot what it was called, but there's a way to run Jupyter notebooks in Neovim. The problem is that it has a lot of dependencies, and so system level dependencies that need to be installed to view them properly and be able to render plots and stuff like this. And I'm not sure how smooth and stable it's going to be. So yeah, I haven't had really the time to look into it very deeply, but I will explore this for sure at some point, because that's the biggest pain point in my workflow right now.
And you mentioned tmux sessions. How do you switch between sessions? Do you use the tmux-sessionizer by Prime, or how do you switch between them?
No, I'm actually curious about the sessionizer. So far I haven't missed anything in the default tmux. So I'm wondering what the sessionizer even solves. What problem does it solve?
So it just allows you to switch between sessions easily, create sessions, right? So that's what I use it for. This is a tmux session. This is my daily note, which is something that I don't miss in Obsidian. I use the daily note a lot. But if you look at my daily notes, right? If I bring up my Explorer here, you're going to notice that they're listed here, right? All of them. So yesterday I had a call with Matt from the Linux cast. I have the notes here. So, I was not supposed to mention that to show that. I'm trying to interview Mitchell Hashimoto from Ghostty. We're gonna see what happens. But I use sessions a lot for this. Like, this is my daily note. It's a tmux session. So basically what the sessionizer does is checks if a tmux session already exists. If it exists, it's just going to switch to the session, right? I have 3 sessions right now. My notes, Obsidian, my dot files, and this is my daily note, right? So when you execute a key map, I have it mapped to a key map, right? So if I type here a shortcut, it's gonna switch to my dot files. And if I wanna switch to my notes, it's another shortcut, just here. If I wanna go back to my dot files, or if I wanna go to my daily note again, so I can navigate between sessions easily, right? So it's just basically an if. If the tmux session exists, just switch to it, right? Do not create it. Switch to it. But if it does not exist, create the session. And that's what I use it for, to switch between projects, basically.
So it helps you skip the session screen?
Yep, it helps me skip the session screen. I never opened this. I did used to open it in the past because I had like 20 sessions open and I needed to clean them up, right? But I don't, I have a tmux cleanup script now. So if I switch to my dot files, I don't know why it's pasting that there. But if I have this cleanup, where is it? Emacs kill sessions. This one. I have this script that is just going to close the tmux sessions that I have not accessed in 3 minutes or 5 minutes. I don't remember what the time I set was. Where is it?
That seems like a short interval.
Yeah, but if I don't access a tmux session in a certain amount of time, I'm not going to access it. I have learned this. Notice here, it's 110 minutes. Yep, 110 minutes. No, not 3 minutes. I'm sorry, it's 3 hours, 2 hours, right? A little bit less than 2 hours. So if I don't access a session in 2 hours, I'm not gonna access it anymore. I know that for a fact. So it helps me keep them clean here, right? And if I don't access it in 2 hours, it's dead for me. I don't want to be cleaning it up. I don't want to have 20 sessions in there because I used to have that in the past and I had to clean them up. I don't worry about that anymore. So the sessionizer is basically just to switch between sessions easily, right?
Does it kill your dot files session?
What do you mean?
Because for me, at least, the dot files session is something I would always keep open, but sometimes I don't access it for days or weeks.
Oh yeah, it kills it. But let's say that I'm in my notes, right? And I'm gonna bring up this thing here. I'm gonna kill the session. The dot files are dead, right? So if I'm in my notes, notice that my dot files are not even there at the time, just my notes. But with that shortcut, if I type 3 keys on my keyboard, just brings it up and I'm back in.
Got it.
Right? But now the session is created, right? It took a little bit longer because I configured it so that when it jumps to that session, it opens Neovim and it restores the session. It types the letter S to restore. So it puts me back where I was, right? So now that it created the session, I can easily go back to it because it just switches. It doesn't have to create it again, basically.
Got it. That seems neat.
Yeah. How do you navigate sessions? Do you open this session?
So I rarely have more than 2 sessions that I'm actively working in at any point in time. So for that use case, I just use the
alternate
prefix L. Yeah. So to jump between those two. And then if I really need to open a new session, then I just, go through the session window and select it.
Yeah. I don't keep a lot of sessions too. I would be lying to you if I would say I keep this one, which is my dot files all the time, my notes, because I need to reference my notes. The daily note is something that I keep as well, and my blog post, right? I have another one for my blog post. So if I type the command, it's going to take me to my blog post, and I'm going to jump to the blog post, right? So I keep 4, 5, maybe, usually 4 or 5. But I'm usually, or my home, right? I have another session for my home where I type commands. I just like typing commands here, and it's a separate session on its own, right? But that's basically it. 5, 6 sessions, maybe the most. So it helps. I think it helps, at least to
Got it.
Quickly switch between the sessions. It becomes useful.
Yeah. I look into it. Is it like a plugin or?
No, it's just a script that ThePrimeagen created. Let me bring it up. I'm gonna switch to my .files here. Sessionizer here. It's just this script, basically. I have a modified version. I modified things a little bit, but it's basically the same thing. right? So it's just really simple stuff. I have more comments here than code, but yep, this is what restores, right? So when I switch to a session, it's just going to bring up Neovim, because I always use Neovim. If I need to switch to a session, it's because I'm going to open Neovim. And except for the home session, I think I have a condition here somewhere. If it's the home session, don't do it. I don't remember exactly, but I open Neovim, I type S to restore the session, so I just go back to where I was. And here, just if the session is running, just switch to it, basically. But if it's not running, create it. It's
Cool.
a very simple script that he created.
Very cool. I'll definitely check it out.
Yeah. Have you heard about this other, I don't know what it is, operating system or whatever it is, nixos? Have you heard about it? Do you have any thoughts there? Have you been curious?
Yeah, man. That's another rabbit hole I don't want to get into, to be honest.
Yeah.
That seems seriously deep.
Yeah.
So I do see the use case and the value, but also I have like some custom setup scripts for macOS, and I just need to run one install script when I have a new Mac, and that sets everything up. It installs Homebrew, it installs all the dependencies, all the tools, my Neovim config. So at least on macOS, I'm good, I would say. I don't need extra stability,
Yeah. How often are you gonna buy a Mac anyway, or rebuild it, right? Every few years, so.
Yeah, so I do see the merit in it, and I do think it's very interesting. But then it's such a deep rabbit hole and I don't know what I'm really gaining, what I'm getting out of it. I mean, yes, you could learn it for the sake of learning it because it's an interesting tool, but then also, what purpose does it serve right now in my workflow? And I don't really see a big benefit in that, even though it's really cool, and I'll probably explore it at some point.
For content, at least, but that is gonna be
exactly
tough. The learning experience.
If you do content, then you always have an excuse to go into any kind of rabbit hole.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel the same way. I'm just like, no, I definitely am not going to do that. It's like Emacs for me. I'm just like, nope, not doing that right now.
Right.
And when we were talking about terminals, you mentioned you're not using Ghostty. That's what I know. What do you use then?
I use wezterm. I want to explore Ghostty as well. It seems quite cool, but also I'm quite happy with wezterm so far.
Okay. And what do you like about wezterm? Why haven't you decided to try Ghostty? To be honest with you, I'm not in Ghostty for a particular reason. The cursor is cool, right? I do like the cursor, and I don't think any other terminals will be able to achieve that. And that is just because of the way that the shaders work in Ghostty, right? These double color that you see in the cursor is some shaders that are applied, and that's what it makes it look like that. I don't know if the cursor can be implemented in wezterm. It can be implemented in Kitty. There's the Neovim plugin as well for the cursor, but Ghostty is great. But I wouldn't have a problem in switching to back to wezterm or to Kitty. Any of the three is fine with me. So, why haven't you decided to try Ghostty? Like, there's no reason. Is there something that you like about wezterm, or?
Yeah, so I've tried a few terminals. I've been using Kitty for a while, and I also tried Alacrity. Initially, it was iTerm too.
Yeah.
But honestly, the main reason is kind of dumb, if I'm completely honest. Can we get my screen on the?
Yep. Let me switch to it.
Yeah. So you see here in wezterm the tmux bar, and now I'm zoomed in a little bit. If I put it into like normal zoom, then there's this space at the bottom around the tmux bar. And that really depends on your font size and like how much you are zoomed in or not. Like this, now it's getting really big. And there's also the space on the side, like here on the right side of the tmux bar. And yeah, that really depends on the font size. And some terminals handle it a bit better than others. Kitty did it very well. but then in Alacrity, I couldn't get it to look good. I always had a huge amount of space on the right and space below the tmux bar. So honestly, this is my main criteria on why I stuck with wezterm, because for the most part, I got it to look decent. But yeah, so
okay.
Let's see. If ghostty can get rid of the space, then I would switch to ghostty. Otherwise, wezterm is quite good. Also, wezterm has some built-in color themes, so it's very easy to make everything look very consistent without too much configuration. And the glyphs are rendered quite nicely. For me, at least Kitty looked a little bit pixelated, not by a lot, but wezterm definitely renders it much sharper. And so overall, it's just aesthetics for me, and the reason why I went with wezterm. But I would be happy with any other terminal. It's just my OCD. It's triggered by
the little borders,
unnecessary space. Yeah.
Yeah, I experienced that with I switched back to our screen. If you want to show something else, you let me know. I experienced that with ghostty and with all of them, and I remember going through the borders and looking at them top, bottom, left, right, and I had to configure them differently in Kitty, in ghostty. I think I have different configurations for each one of them, but yeah.
Do you know why it happens though?
I'm not a terminal expert. I have no idea, but I did experience that with all of them. Each one, different settings for it to show up the way that I want it. So it was tough.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And well, we already talked about your keyboard. What layout do you use, by the way, on your keyboard? Is it QWERTY?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you thought about the other ones?
I have, but I prefer to be able to use a normal computer like a normal human being as well. So I feel like if I switch to, I don't know, Dvorak or Colmac, then I would be very dependent on this. I'm sure it would feel great, and I would have a much more ergonomic experience even. But man, like I don't always travel with this keyboard. Sometimes I just have my MacBook. I go to a coffee shop or whatever and sit down and do some work. And if I had to switch to a different layout at home and at a coffee shop, like basically at the end of the day, I would have a worse workflow. I just want to be able to use the built-in keyboard as well.
But you could use a tool like Kanata to remap the whole thing. That's what I did with my MacBook keyboard. With Kanata, I just basically made all of the modifier keys useless. If I press them, they don't do anything because I remapped them with Kanata. So you could do that with Kanata as well. But my take on it is I have my daughter here with me. I have to teach her about computers eventually. We did try, I taught her the Vim tutor for a little while.
Really?
I didn't continue. It just was a one-day thing. I have to be more consistent with that. But when the time comes and I have to teach her all this stuff, I'm not gonna be in Colmac and she's gonna be in QWERTY. It's gonna be painful for me because I won't have to use QWERTY at that time, and it's gonna be painful for her if she tries to use my computer. So I just wanted to be compatible with other people in my house, basically.
Yeah. Honestly, they should teach Vim in schools.
They should.
It shouldn't be your job.
Vim motions and all that stuff. Okay. Now, to wrap it up, I wanna go over not technical related stuff. If there's something that you wanna talk about, you just ask the question, you just stop me and you just ask it and we can talk about it. But are you into music? Do you wanna share anything about music?
Oh yeah, I am into music. Are you a pianist, by the way? Because I see a piano and a
No,
guitar
that's
in the background.
a MIDI keyboard that I bought like goddamn 10 years ago or even more. And I play the guitar. And I even recorded a few songs. I did
Nice.
record one in Spotify. It was years ago. Nah, I stopped playing the guitar. I like it, but I haven't done it in a while, actually. Yeah. What about you?
Got it.
Are you into
Yeah,
making music?
I do play piano and the guitar as well.
Oh yeah,
Although I haven't touched it now for quite some time
me
because
neither.
of Vim, you know. But in theory, I really like it, and I practiced for many years. And yeah, so I'm also like into classical music, and I appreciate, although like the genre that I'm mostly into is hardcore music.
Oh, hardcore.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of what I grew up with, and it never left me.
Uh-huh.
So
And what
yeah,
type of bands or like?
I think the most known ones are probably like Parkway Drive and Bring Me the Horizon. That one, they became quite mainstream at this point. Also, there was the ones. I mean, it's a style of music that I like, but I'm not a big fan of this particular band. But they got nominated for the
Mm-hmm.
Grammys, not grannies.
Uh-huh.
the what are they called? Knocked Loose.
Knock Loose.
Yes.
Let's see. Let me look. Let me look them up. Hold on.
Yeah, they're quite sick.
Knock NUK or what?
Knocked Loose. Yeah.
Oh,
KN.
like a tooth.
Yeah, KNOCK.
This.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, what is this? Is it some sort of metal? Oh, it has the pig voice, right? That squeaks. Is that what it is? I can see this guy's doing the pig sounds. Is that
It's
it?
not necessarily pig sounds, but I mean, there used to be pig screams in the genre that used to be a bit more popular back then.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, it's shouting and it's guitars and drums and this kind of stuff.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, so that's kind of my main deal with music.
Oh, shouting and metal stuff, right?
Yes, it also works really well at the gym.
Oh,
I
I
also
see.
like classic metal, like Iron Maiden, for example, and Manowar
I
and
saw
this
the
kind of
shirt.
stuff.
Yeah, I saw the shirt.
Oh yeah, yeah, I love them. But I'm really into anything. I also like electronic music, especially for coding. Like this kind of hardcore music doesn't work so well. You can imagine it's not the best
It's stress. I don't see this guy
focus
singing
music.
like a kid friendly song. I see that he's kind of excited, so it must be like a stream, like us, right?
Yeah, I can highly recommend. It's also quite known. I think he's German.
Uh-huh.
Ben Burmer.
Ben.
That's Ben.
Ben. Okay, Ben.
Yeah, Ben Burmer. It's like BOHMER. Yeah, the
Okay.
first one.
Okay.
Yeah, it's actually a German Ö sound. Yeah, with the two dots on top of the O. He's really good. It makes kind of like electronic chill music, I would say. It's also quite popular.
Oh, he looks
But yeah,
chill.
yeah, that's perfect for coding. And Tom Day, he's a bit lesser known, but amazing music for coding. Day.
They like this?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. It's also like electronic, chill kind of music. Works perfectly for coding.
Oh, interesting. Electronic chill. What's your favorite Iron Maiden album?
Probably Number of the Beast.
A Number of the
And
Beast?
my favorite song is Hollowed by the Name.
Mm.
Do you know it?
Yep. Yeah, I was a
Yeah.
huge Iron Maiden fan back in the day,
Yeah?
man. My favorite one, let me tell you which one it is. It's a concert. 85, I think it was. I had the DVD. Man, they were pretty young. This is by far my favorite Iron Maiden album. I don't listen to Iron Maiden anymore because I listen to it so much. Man, I exaggerate it I did it. I overdid it, and I cannot stand it anymore. But this is an album that I play from time to time. The DVD.
Yeah, sometimes we have moments. I'm also like, have moments where I overdo it on a band, on album. But then like years later, I come back to it and then it's still amazing,
Yeah, yeah. Look at this one. Hold on. I'm gonna play it. I hope it doesn't sound. But look, they were pretty young. The Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner. That's the song. It's 15 minutes long.
85, man.
85, yeah. If you like Iron Maiden, listen to this song. But in this concert, god damn, one of my favorite ones.
Didn't even have Neovim back then. Man.
Yeah, for sure. What other bands are you into then? Classical, metal?
The other day, speaking of like revival of like old bands, I kind of found myself in a System of a Down rabbit hole again.
Oh, I watched the documentary. Well, not a documentary.
Really?
About the guy in YouTube. Or where did I watch it?
What's it called? Siri Tankian or something like that?
Yeah, he's from. Where is he from?
I think Armenia.
Yeah, somewhere. Yeah, I don't know exactly, but I watched and he's a pretty smart guy. I didn't know he's a real artist. I didn't know that about him.
I really appreciate that kind of getting back to like craftsmanship and artistry. I love that.
Yeah. So what, you went into the System of a Down rabbit hole?
Yeah, and just like listen to the old songs, like they're just so good and timeless. And same with Linkin Park. The old songs, and I watched some concerts. It's just so good. And I actually wondered like specifically about Linkin Park, because the sound back when they were popular, like I said, still popular, but when they just became popular, it was so unique. Like nobody did this. Like they did the whole rap and metal instrument elements, and then they did this, what do you call it, the vinyl scratching and stuff like this. This stuff was just getting popular, but kind of in separate genres, and they combined all this and brought this together. And it was, and also the screams of Chester Bennington, and then combined with rap and all this, it sounded so unique. And I was wondering, like, if in the future we make music with AI, and it's quite good. A friend of mine showed me the other day how you can make music from just a prompt, and it's surprisingly good.
Oh, really?
But yeah, because like he made a song about us, prompted a song about us, and it was like super good. But I was wondering, like, would something like Linkin Park come out of AI if it had existed back then? Or was it like, because it had never been done before, so unique, AI couldn't even think about this because all it knows is its training data?
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe it can, but let's see about that. I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, if it can create something unique that people tune into, basically, right? Yeah. And are you into movies as well? Is there any movies that you would like to recommend or that you like to watch?
Not a lot. I'm more into series.
Yep.
Specifically these days into K-dramas, honestly.
like my mother-in-law.
Really?
Yeah. Is that the Korean ones?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they're for old ladies, man. How did you end up there?
Well, honestly, they are so good. Like, I heard the other day that Hollywood these days is basically private equity. Like all the Hollywood studios have been bought by private equity. And I find that I never knew what it was before I heard that. But I found that Hollywood has gotten so stale and predictable.
Man, it's horrible. The same formula. The action movies, they suck. I hate them. Yep.
And that explains, if it's true that private equity is infested in Hollywood, then that explains a lot to me. And I don't know, man, the plots of K-dramas, they're just so good. The characters are written so well. And I don't know, maybe that's because a lot of times they're based on like manga or webtoon. And they already became popular as a manga. So you already have that proof of concept. I mean, there's so much manga out there. And then if one of them becomes really popular, then it's kind of like guaranteed success if you turn that into a well-written series.
When I see my mother-in-law and when my wife and I see her, she always brings up one of the series, one of the K-drama series, and she starts telling us the story, and we're like, no, just don't, because when she starts, she doesn't stop, man, and it can last hours. Do you talk about everyone? Do you talk to everyone about your K-drama
Well,
shows?
you have to introduce me to her.
Yeah.
I feel we would bond over that topic a
Yeah.
lot.
Does anyone else in your work and all that share this interest for the K-drama series?
Yeah, Kelly, my fiance does. Like we watch all
Oh,
of them together.
that's
And
awesome.
yeah, we got people to watch them as well. And now they're also, they joined the cult and are now
Oh,
evangelists.
and now, since it's approved by someone that uses Neovim, a lot of the audience are gonna watch it, and probably even me.
Go for
So
it.
you're opening a door that you shouldn't have opened.
Go for it, man. We're gonna become the KVim community.
Yeah. Oh man. Okay, so more into series, just K-drama, and that's it, right?
These days, pretty much. But there's one series that is one of my favorites, which is not Korean, which is Mr. Robot.
Oh, I
You know it?
watched it just a little bit, but I didn't end it. No.
How could you not get hooked on it, man?
I don't know. I just didn't continue. One that I did get hooked on was The Office. Have you watched The Office?
Oh no, just random clips from it,
Clips.
and they're good.
The first series sucks. The first season sucks. So if you're gonna watch it, just keep that in mind. That you're not gonna love
Got
the
it.
first season. Just work your way through it. Once you reach season 2 and 3, and you're gonna love it. There's a point in which, do you know what happens? I don't want to spoil it, or should I spoil it? You're not gonna watch it. Do you want me to spoil it or not?
I might actually watch it because it's my kind of humor. Do you think it would be completely spoiled? Like I couldn't watch it if you tell me?
I would stop watching it at a certain point. That's all I'm gonna say. If you see that a major event happens and you see that you don't see a character that you loved a lot and you don't see it show up anymore, I would stop watching it at that point.
Then don't tell me, because I'm actually interested in watching it at some point.
If you see one of the characters that you like and you suddenly stop seeing that character, it doesn't happen right at the beginning. It's a lot of seasons happen, like 6, 7, 8. I don't remember exactly, but something happens after that. For me personally, it was just a waste of time. I didn't like it anymore, but pretty good. First season, just keep it in mind. You're not gonna love it. I hated it, and I tried it again like 2 years after, and I was like, man, now this is the second time that I watched it full, and I want to watch it again. So it's
nice.
Yeah, I'm a fan of Michael. Man, he's
yeah. I know him from clips from The Office, and yeah, it's also my favorite character.
Yeah, he's awesome.
I also really love the same actor in Anchorman. You know Anchorman?
Anchorman? No. What is it? I watched
it's
Foxcatcher, I think. I didn't like that one. Anchorman, let's see.
Yeah, Anchorman. It's a movie about like 70s news anchors or 80s.
Oh.
And it's with the same actor, same kind of humor. It's brilliant. Highly recommend.
I haven't watched it. I want to watch it. I have watched clips actually about this one, to be honest. It's this one, right?
Yeah.
I have to watch it. He also shows up in a movie that I recommended to Sylvan, which is called, this is more of a serious movie because he does a lot of comedy, right? So, what the hell? This one, this movie. If you haven't watched it, man, it's an awesome movie. If you can watch it.
Beautiful boy.
Beautiful boy. Just like Sylvan Franklin.
Yeah, but this is the real Vimothée, no?
That is the real Vimothée Chalamet, or however it's pronounced. We are we are not writing Vimothée's name correctly because people is using Vimothy, and it has to be written this way,
Oh, yeah.
guys. So if someone else is still watching this is the right way, but just with a V instead of a T, right? But
Yeah, I'm gonna start correcting people from now on if they do this.
yeah, but this is a wonderful movie, man. I loved it. It's great. If you can, give it a try.
Cool. Thanks for the recommendation.
Yeah. And video games, are you into that or no?
I used to be, like in my teens, I used to play a lot of Silk Road Online. You know it?
I've heard it, I think, but no.
It's basically like World of Warcraft, but instead of being an orc or like a dwarf or something like this, you are a Chinese character. Yeah.
This one?
Yeah, this was a huge time sink for me. And it's a horrible game. Honestly, it really sucks. Because it's such a grind. Like, the game has quests as well. You can do quests.
Mm-hmm.
But the amount of experience you get towards your level is over proportional to the amount of skill points you get.
Mm.
So if you do quests, then you will level faster, but you will be underskilled for your level. So nobody does quests. They just go grinding, killing mobs the whole time. And so this is kind of like boring. So everybody, like, there's not a single player who's not botting. Everybody is botting.
Uh-huh.
So like it's kind of pointless. You play this game, but nobody is there. It's like, it's just ghosts. And then maybe at some point, like, friends and me, we were just gathering, and you can do cool stuff there that then actually involves playing. But most of the time we were just boarding during the day and then go skateboarding and then came back in the evening. And hopefully we didn't get disconnected from the server or something, but hopefully the bot did its job and collected a lot of items and didn't die. And yeah, I don't know. Then we could actually play and have some fun. But yeah, it's the worst game. Honestly, don't start playing it.
Yeah, it's like Neovim. A rabbit
Neovim
hole.
is actually good. I mean, Neovim improves your life. This doesn't.
Okay, awesome. All right, we've been here for 3 hours, man. It's a long time.
Oh, wow.
3 hours.
Wow. Didn't even notice.
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to discuss to wrap it up?
Maybe one point from the beginning. Because at the very beginning, when we were talking about my channel and why it has, relative to the amount of videos, a high amount of subscribers, I mentioned there are 3 points that I believe are contributing to that. And I only touched on 2.
Mm-hmm.
I mentioned there are 3 points, and 2 of them are out of my control, which is the thumbnails and the timing of the videos, which was lucky.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't touch upon the 3rd point. So I just want to bring that up to wrap this point up. I actually believe the 3rd point is because I'm kind of an idiot, honestly.
Why?
Because I actually believe that for someone working in tech as an engineer, I probably have below average IQ in that field. And I honestly believe that. But this is actually a benefit if you try to make tutorial videos or explain things to other people. Because I know it from people who I work with or who I studied with. And I sometimes admire how smart they are and how quickly they pick up stuff. And I can tell also because my fiance, she has an attested high IQ. Like, she did an IQ test as a child and it was very high. And I noticed that when we sometimes play board games and we do escape rooms a lot. And she's just so much quicker than me at connecting the dots. Like, this is where intelligence, pure IQ, really shines. And I really notice a huge difference. But also, she's not that great at explaining things. And I also noticed that from university, in a difficult course in time series, I had this professor who I believe was a bit autistic, kind of a genius, probably also very high IQ.
Mm-hmm.
But he really sucked as a professor, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Because
yeah.
he drew something on the blackboard nobody could follow. To him, everything was obvious because he's a genius, right?
Yeah.
to the rest of the people who are just like normal students. Nobody got it. And I believe that's kind of a bit the fallacy, or if you're a genius, everything is obvious to you. And that makes it very hard to communicate that to other people who are not geniuses. I'm not a genius. I'm maybe not completely the opposite, but I think probably the average viewer of my videos might be much smarter than me. And if they have any question, as dumb as the question might be, probably I had the question before. So nothing is obvious to me. I asked all the dumb questions. I still figure things out at the end. But I think that's why I can explain things in ways that most people can follow. And I get that feedback a lot in the comments, that people like how I explain stuff. So I guess that's the third contributing factor.
Yeah, that's a huge point, actually. And I have watched videos as well in which I'm completely lost, because the person knows what he's doing, but I'm like, what's even happening here, right? So I was not the kid that used to get it at school. When they were, and my daughter suffers from this as well, but when they were giving the instructions, I was thinking of something completely not related. And when the teacher was giving the instructions, and it was oral stuff, and when they were giving the instructions, I was like somewhere else. And they finished giving the instructions, and I was like, what the fuck just happened? What happened again? And I never get things at first. There's other people I see around, and they catch it right away. Explain it once, they get it, not me. Man, it's tough.
Same.
So I guess I try to explain. I don't know how people find my tutorials. I think they're not that, because you don't know what level your audience is, right? You don't know if they're elevated or if they're up here or down here. So you have to keep it right in between, right? Not go all the way here, because no one's gonna get it, but cover everyone basically, right?
Yeah, I noticed that when I share videos in the Neovim subreddit, the reception tends to be a bit worse than on YouTube.
Oh, Reddit, the subreddit is trash, man. There's just bad people there always.
I also believe that might be because people who are in the Neovim subreddit, they are so advanced and very passionate about like the long-term very cracked Neovim users. And then on YouTube, you have a lot more beginners who are just like trying to find the first tutorial ever on Neovim. Those people probably haven't signed up to the subreddit yet. So I think those like people who have been using Neovim from day one, they might not appreciate a intro video as much as someone who just comes across it for the first time.
Have you had bad experiences in the Neovim subreddit? Have you gotten in dramas there?
No, not really. I try to avoid that. But I just noticed that when I share a video there, the first moment it gets downvoted most of the time. Quite a lot. And then over time, like it sort of picks up, And I wonder, like, why does it always get downvoted? Like the first 1 hour or so, it just gets downvoted. Like
60% and 50%, it goes down 80%. Yeah.
At the end, then it's 95% positive. But why is it always like getting down at the beginning? Like other people who are just, have no life are always 24/7 in the subreddit and just downvote everything that they don't like. I don't know. But it's just a pattern that I noticed. And it's very different to YouTube. On YouTube, it's overwhelmingly positive.
Still, that's something that I wonder as well, because we're pretty small. You have 7,000, I have 8,000 subs. It's just nothing. Just people that really like us follow us, right? We don't have haters. I don't have haters in my comments. Some of them show up sometimes, and I just make fun of them. I just play along. It's fine. It does not affect me at all. But we're really small. But once you're big enough, like Theo, do you follow Theo?
Theo.
Theo, he showed up in Prime sometime. Let me bring him up here. Theo. VS Code. This guy. Have you followed him?
No.
No, you don't follow him? Once you're a huge channel like that, man, you're gonna get a lot of hate. he was involved in some drama recently. What was it about? GPT-5. He talked about GPT-5 too quick because he went into the, I don't know, OpenAI headquarters and tried it there, created a video that it was awesome, that it was the best. So he got a lot of hate. Then he created this video that it sucks, that he jumped into conclusions too fast. But man, people in the comments and in Twitter get wild. But he has a lot of subscribers. Let's see how many he has. 500,000, right? So if we ever grow that big, it's not gonna be the same. I think it's gonna be,
Yeah. There's
gonna be haters.
Way more careful at that point.
Yeah, you have to think.
But also, it's a very fine line, because if you're too careful and you never speak up, speak your opinion, then why would anybody follow you? You know, that's very tricky.
Yep, exactly. If you don't have your own opinion and you stand by it, yeah, that is
the problem. Is when people feel that you sold out.
Yeah,
I guess, you know,
they're not going to forgive that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, they thought that he sold to OpenAI and that he's an OpenAI shill, whatever they call it, right? So they didn't like that at all. He created this video and drama. But is drama bad for you? Like, subscribers keep going up, right? So if you create drama around stuff, are you gonna lose all of your audience? I don't know. Or is it going to keep increasing, right? So
yeah. Like, there's no bad publicity, maybe. Yeah, again, this is a super fine line.
Yeah, it is.
So I think at the end of the day, what I worry about is, what do I want to be known for? You know, I want to talk about things that I care about. I genuinely want to help people, and you know, I want to share what I've learned about Neovim and CLI tools and that kind of stuff. I want to share it with people, and hopefully it improves their workflow in the way it improved my workflow. And I want to talk about things that I'm passionate about. So I don't know. That's the most important thing for me.
Yeah.
You know, to be true to what I want to be known for.
Yeah. Like Why So Serious said in the comments right now, pirate software. Have you seen that drama? Have you seen what's going on there?
Haven't followed it.
No? Man, it's brutal. It's wild. Hold on, let me see. You just see videos, man, all over the place. Look at this. I just typed pirate software right now. Well, I just added,
life ruined.
But all of the videos that I see are like this, man. Like, life ruined, liar. Look at this. And this is on the main YouTube page, you know, liar, a total unfinished disaster. This is a game that he was creating. Hate here. In the shorts, you see hate everywhere. Pirate, a noob. Criticism, not welcome. Liar, Nepo baby. This video is horrible. I watched it and I was like, what the hell is this? But look, this is when the internet turns against you completely. And man, it's not his videos. This is just hate. Look at all this.
What did he do? What was the root cause?
Games. Just be careful. If you're going to say something about games, we're not big enough, right? But
oh fuck! I said something about Silk Road. I hope they know.
but
no Silk Road.
No, it's not that.
Evangelists.
It's that. It's that he is not in favor. What is it about Why So Serious? If you can type it in the comments to let us know what it's about. But this is my understanding. Let's wait for the comments. But he didn't support that Stop Killing Games initiative. There's an initiative that is in favor of not old games, so that old games continue to work, basically. So that if you buy your game, let's say Unreal Tournament, you remember that game, it was an old game. So if you bought it, you can still play it till this day, right? And there's a lot of games that don't allow that to happen because they run on servers. And once they say there's not enough traffic on the servers for online games, they're like, we're not gonna keep the server up, just the game dies. So what they're after is, okay, you can kill the servers, that's fine, but give us the code. Let us host the games ourselves so we can still play them, because they're part of the history, they're part of the culture, so they just want to keep playing the old games. The games that you played as a child, they want to play them with their kids, right? So
and he was against that.
he was against that, and man,
it's an emotional topic. For nostalgia is a big emotion.
yeah. But I see, and man, the videos are horrible. It's tough. So I wouldn't want to be on that spot. But look at the amount of subscribers that he has, right? 2.25 million subscribers. Is he going to get canceled? Is he going to continue? Are they going to keep increasing? What's going to happen? Is there bad marketing? Is there bad publicity, or there's not? Is this bad for him? Maybe it makes him feel bad, but is his channel growing? Is it making him more popular? What's going to happen? I don't know. So when you operate at that level, it's different. So I don't know.
Might be good for him in the end, but probably a stressful time at the very least for him right now.
Yeah, stressful. He's losing daily subs around 5K a day. Yeah. So
I wish I could afford to lose 5K subs.
Yeah. 8K and I'm done. Yeah. So Hendrik, really appreciate your time. Guys in the chat, thank you for being here as well. So mainly to you, Hendrik, thank you very much, man. I'm going to be editing this video, leaving the timeline. That's what takes most of the time. And I'm going to be publishing the video. Any final words before we wrap it up?
Man, it was super fun to be here. Thanks for the invitation, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, thanks to you, man. Hope to see you soon again. Maybe we can do something with Sylvan. Let's think about something and let's come up with a collaboration or something, right? Talk about stuff like this.
I think it could be sick. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Cheers. Take care, everyone.